So you found a way that we can play music, you were saying?
It's Bluetooth.
Oh. Wait, the record player's Bluetooth?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yes, sir.
No, that's crazy.
It was a great Christmas gift. I am awesome.
The record player should not be making noises like that. It's from the 60s. Let it be from the 60s.
No. That's how we coming into the stream.
We're coming into the J. Cole stream playing Big Sean. Playing Big Sean.
He hasn't gotten enough love for this verse yet. You two gonna pay this anyway, bro.
Somebody tell Marcus he's insane for starting the Cole stream with Big Sean.
Because he hasn't gotten enough love for this verse yet.
There is a reason. He is not involved with the
he doesn't need to be involved with all of that. Talking about the verse.
Read the room, Big Sean.
So he should just go the fuck away, take his ball, and go home.
Read the room. It's not time for you yet. Unless you're dissing somebody. I need you to stop. I need you to take the rocket launcher out and.
Hey, that's for Cole to do. He just rapping. Sean can, first of all, no, Cole is rapping. He created the whole album. That's for fucking Drake to do.
Sure.
Sean can just rap.
It's not time for Sean to rap. It's not Sean's time to rap.
Is it not?
No. If he's dissing somebody, it's not his time to rap.
That sounds like horse shit. I don't like that.
He needs to go at the big three and say, he's the one that needs to say, fuck the big three, it's Big Me.
Well, too late
Big
for that.
Me, I'm Big Sean.
It's too late
Big
for that.
Me.
He had the moment and he used it to rap.
And he's going pew pew.
Shoot my shot like. First of all, everybody's getting swept up in this. It's not just Big Sean. Bryson Tiller put out an album.
Yeah.
Bryson Tiller, no one's paying attention to it.
Didn't listen to it.
I mean, I'm going to listen to it.
I will as well, but not right now. There are bigger things at hand.
We can't do that. We can't just get Galaxy Brain and not listen to any other rap because this shit is going on.
There are bigger things afoot. I need to break down the Cole album.
There's not much to break down. It was like...
Oh, we're starting.
Are we going?
I mean, we're on here, but...
Yeah, get it going, bro. What you doing?
I'm recording now.
There's no corrupted files on the...
Nope.
On the stuff?
Not right now, there isn't anyway.
Okay. Well, we'll double check that in a later date.
So, Cole... Wait, how are we starting this? Because are we going into dubs and L's, or what are we doing? Are we just shooting the shit?
I'll just shoot my shot like Pum Pum.
Big Sean shot his shot like Pum Pum.
Shoot my shot
and
like,
nobody heard the shots go off.
First of all, why are you? What is this Big Sean disrespect? What does he have to do with this beef where he has to catch so much flack for you right now?
It's not time for you right now.
So he's not allowed, no one else is allowed to rap if they're not involved in the beef.
We only
want silly.
One of three people to rap.
You sound like one of them Drake fans.
We want one of three people to rap.
Okay, so again, I'm going to ask you. You're not allowed to rap if you're not wrapped up into the
Oh, you know what? I take that back. One of four people. Got to include Future in there.
Yes or no? If you're not involved in this back and forth right now, then you're not allowed to rap at all. You can't drop.
No, you can drop. Just be prepared to be overshadowed when one of those other four people drop.
It doesn't have to be that way.
It is currently that way, unfortunately.
It doesn't have to be that way.
Sure, but that's the landscape now.
Like we could just choose to watch everything. Like the whole point of all of this
Did you listen to Bryson Tiller?
Bryson Tiller is an R&B artist.
Did you listen to it?
He's an R&B artist.
Did you listen
to
the
album?
Rapper?
He's not a
Did
rapper.
anything else play out of your speakers this weekend besides Cole?
Yeah.
And Pimp A.
Yeah, I went back and I played Metro and Future. Precision, obviously. Listen to Blue Lips. Like, I'm not going to turn off
You didn't
all
like
other
that.
hip hop. That's not true.
Oh, okay.
It's not true. Again, just because I thought 21's album was better doesn't mean that I didn't like Blue Lips.
No, I'm talking about the Cole album.
Oh, the one he just dropped?
Yeah.
No, it was dope. I thought it was, but it was pretty much standard Cole. And he wasn't mean enough.
On the disc.
He wasn't mean enough at all. Like I don't think he knows. I don't think either one of them know who they fucking with. Like
Sure.
That's Candyman for a reason. And he's not playing with you. So why we're like, oh, this is a warning shot, nigga? Fuck the warning shot. The warning shot already happened, right? It's war. I don't know if you're watching Shogun right now, Jermaine, but you need to peep. You are you playing the role of Toranaga right now, and your boy K-Dot is Ishido. Okay, Ishido got all the power, and he's dictating to you what's about to happen. He said you can either die here in front of me, or you can die out there in the field. See, the Toranaga and Shogun though is getting right. You know, he about to get that Crimson Sky going. But see, you niggas are just lollygagging out there in that fishing country having a good old time. And you didn't got a letter, you know, from the damn capital telling you, hey, it's time to rap. And one of your mans is still drunk at the brothel.
One of your mans is drunk at the brothel was hilarious.
I hope all of the people who are watching Shogun got those references.
So if I'm being honest, I believe Cole is actually the better rapper. The issue is Kendrick has Mamba mentality. Kendrick is coming to take niggas' heads off.
Playing for he didn't come out and talk about you for a warning shot.
Yeah.
For you dropped 4 albums in 12 years. Okay, so let's go back 12 years, and let's say so 2012. How many albums?
Doesn't include section.
No. Let's get off of Cole. I mean Kendrick for a minute.
Okay.
How many albums has Cole put out since 2012?
The same amount, from what I heard.
2012. So we talking about For Your Eyes Only. We talking about Forest Hill Drive, because that was 2014.
Did Born Center come out at that time?
No, that was before. That was like 2010, 2008, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
So we got For Your Eyes Only.
Born Center came out. Wait, we said 12 years?
12 years, so 2012 and after.
Born Center came out 2013.
Okay. Born Center, For Your Eyes Only, KOD.
The off-season.
Off-season.
Forest Hills Drive.
Didn't I say Forest Hills Drive?
So
that was the one I started with.
Forest Hills Drive, yeah. For Your Eyes Only, KOD, off-season.
5. You put out one more album than Katie.
Actually 6 now.
And honestly, we can take that 4 Year Olds Only and just like forget that we ever did it. Let's just keep it funky, because there's not a miss on Kendrick's discography.
For Your Eyes Only got a lot of hate that it didn't deserve, but it is the worst of all of the albums.
Fam, it got a lot of hate that it didn't deserve on Kendrick's discography. That's why he take the amount of time in between the albums that he does.
Mr. Morale? And now T-Pab?
Stop it.
T-Pab is getting a lot of hate.
Stop it.
Because of what Cole said.
T-Pab's getting a lot of hate today.
Because of what
from Cole fans,
yes.
Right? Today. If this was 7 days ago, there's nobody who's willing to die on that hill that T-Pab is terrible.
Sure. No, I agree.
Every one of you who hopped on that bandwagon after Cole said it is a fraud.
Yeah.
You a fake. You a fake. You either didn't have the balls to say it when it was unpopular, or you didn't really feel that way, and a popular person said it, so now you can go along with it. I'm not about to hear that. If you wasn't telling me that King Kunta and All Right was trash back then, I don't want to hear it now. Also, I'm really struggling to get my mind around the People's Champ, or what was supposed to be the People's Champ in Cole, right? Making fun of the album that had the most social impact. See, that feels like something that Drake would say, because Drake has never given a damn about a black issue since he started rapping,
or an album.
You know what I'm saying? But to hear that come from Cole was a little bit telling. So we got the album criticism thing. We got the what did I just say? Damn, how did I lose my track of thought that fast?
The 4 albums in 12 years, and then saying You know, your first
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
classic,
Talking about the
second
Pimp a
one was
Butterfly, right?
trash. Yeah.
Also, this thing about you criticizing niggas for hollering and saying shit for shock value or only, beefing for clout. Fam, I'm gonna say this to you again. I said it about Cole when he made the false prophets joint, right? Talking about Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
This man is a rank hypocrite because the niggas that he buddy with, the niggas that he bumps shoulders with, the niggas that won't say his name in a verse or challenge him in any real way. This is the LeBron effect, by the way. The niggas that won't challenge him, they're good. They're above reproach. We don't really have any criticism for those guys. I have no criticism for them whatsoever in bars or otherwise. Right? In all things that you would really think that Cole would criticize somebody for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fam, are you really down with the nigga who was in blackface? Like that's your man's? That's your boy? Him? He got caught up on sex charges? Your man's that you was with him? That you be with?
I heard you grew up with him.
I heard you grew up with him. That's crazy. You ain't never feel nothing in your gut, like no guilt or nothing. But then when it's time for Kendrick only does stuff for clout. He only does things for publicity, blah, 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 blah. Right? Fam, this is false prophets from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, you a false prophet. You don't write your raps. You fake, you phony, you do this, you do that. Everything you said about Kanye could have been applied to Drake at that time.
Sure.
Similarly, here we are talking about Kendrick, only doing shit for clout, only doing shit for expediency. What is all of these male on female beefs that Drake has had in the last 2 or 3 years? What is that? Is that not for clout or publicity?
No.
All the shots at Meg or Jennifer Lopez or Serena Williams, these random beefs with women. So when did we start giving rappers allowances to start beefing with women? The only people that get a green card from us to beef with women is 50 Cent because it's hilarious.
Or Saucy Santana.
He stands alone on that one.
Saucy Santana can't be with the women?
I would
He's
say
not
no.
basically in that same field?
I would say no, but that's my opinion.
I think he already has.
No, he definitely does. I'm just saying.
Moving on.
That was my thoughts on the beef so far. I feel like only one person has actually swung, and the other person that's talked about swinging, and the other one just sitting up there with his thumb up his butt on tour. So,
well, speaking of Drake, I felt like the first half of 7 Minute Drill and a lot of the songs on the album gave off a feel, and I heard Joe Budden say the same thing. It gave off a feel like J. Cole was enjoying his time on tour with Drake and getting some of the same vibes from Drake. And some of those songs sounded like they were a little more popish than J. Cole is used to.
This is the problem with some of the niggas in the NBA too, man. Y'all been so buddy with LeBron all these years. Y'all won't put that old man out his misery. I'm trying to figure out how the 10th seed, the 9th seed, which we climbing, right? We win the games. We on like a 7-game win streak or something like that. So they doing their thing. But I'm saying, like, they've been buddy with this man so long that they won't kill him the way that people was trying to kill Kobe at the end of his career, the way that they try to kill Jordan at the Wizards, the way that they try to get you when you get old. Like, people was trying to put moves and trying to dunk on Tim Duncan at the end when he was at the Spurs. Like, it was getting there. Same thing with Dirk when he was getting past his, his able to move side to side days. They was pulling Dirk. Dirk was the backup center in Dallas the last couple of seasons.
Since I'm talking about Joe Budden takes, they also called Cole essentially Tim Duncan because he don't have that same like killer instinct. But he's still like
fundamental.
Yeah.
That's what I felt about the album. I felt like this is like, these are God level bars. Like, he's hitting on a lot of these, but it's like you're not trying to take him out. You know who he is? He's Mark Grayson. The only problem is you're beefing with Omni-Man.
Well,
he's Mark.
Cole getting his ass whooped.
Okay. You know how I was talking about Mark taking those ass whoopings but getting incrementally better? Okay. That's okay. Where we at.
Fair.
That's where we at. Like, maybe he didn't get his teeth knocked in like that. Well, but this is the thing. Kendrick swung first. This is a response. That's why the level of scrutiny is so high. You had all this time. You made this entire album, fam. Might delete later. You put out an entire project, so you took a lot of time and thought to put in this to say it was just a warning. The fall off is still coming.
Yeah.
Okay, like this shouldn't be no warning shot. You put this much effort into it. Put out a track and say that. Not an entire 12.
Well, I think he had the album already ready, and then obviously he added 7-minute drill on after the fact.
I would like to think that because of the way it played, but all of the bars were so specific to what just happened.
I was gonna say he might have added
on not all those tracks,
not
though.
Just 7-minute drill, but he might have added several tracks to the album.
Added stuff.
Or added, or maybe even added lines or something.
That seems like a lot for a project that's already ready to go. I'm just saying.
I think some of those tracks were already ready to go.
No. For sure, some of those was in the touch. I'm saying the compilation coming together as a project feels like a lot to say that it was already designated to come out, right? And we just went back and tweaked stuff to make it relevant to was because that seems like a lot of time and effort that you didn't already put into making a project. Now you're completely changing it, having to change words in the song, right? The 7-minute drill changed over at the end, right? Like I thought we was gonna get something stupid out of that track.
Well, even
I thought we was gonna get something dumb, and it was standard Cole.
Which even in how producer T- explained how 7-minute drill came about, he basically told T- like, you got to make a beat within 7 minutes. And he's going to make the verse within 7 minutes. And then the reason why light work, like PWC was like the first line is because T- gave him the first word to start the verse off with. So like he did kind of phone this in. If he took 7 minutes to kind of write this verse out.
Damn, I'm just saying it wasn't lackluster. It was quality bars. We just didn't get that. Oh shit. Moment like we got from Like That.
I also think it's funny. This goes to the whole Drake being an influence on him kind of thing. That might delete later is something that girls post on captions to say, "Oh, I felt cute, but I might delete later."
All you tweeting the leaders, all you tweeting the leaders. Like, man, why is that the type of shit that you want to be tied into? Like, why do you want to be associated with that? Why you want to be associated with random beefs with women and fucking
maybe there's a different
blackface porn star baby mamas? Why do you want to be associated with that so bad?
Oh, we're gonna talk about baby mamas later.
Lord have mercy.
But yeah, no, felt cute might delete later is some. There might be some kind of alternate meaning that I didn't catch, but that's insane. Why is Gucci
on the track
word poetry sounding extra lyrical miracle in the intro?
I'm about to say this motherfucker is talking like he's not even rapping.
Did he find Young Dro after full that beat? And then the Daylight Absol shit was tough.
So it was cold.
That was crazy.
No, like as a album, if he would have never beefed with Kendrick, if that was never happening, I'd have been like, oh shit, the fall off about to be crazy. If this is what he's giving us now as like a throwaway, the fall off is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
The problem I have now is that the level of expectation for the fall off just went through the roof. It just went for the roof because you didn't satisfy me on the Kendrick bars. And now I know that since this was the warning, the real shit should be coming in the fall off, right? Which was already a highly anticipated album. It was supposed to be your retirement album.
Yeah.
So now we got retirement album, response to Kendrick, all in the same. And if you fall short on either one, people are going to say that you flopped, regardless of how quality the project was in the first place. And this is the album that you've been putting the last 6-7 years into.
It's his views. Remember when Drake kept saying,
Views is coming. Views coming. The views are coming. The views are coming. And boys treated that album like a pariah. Like a pariah. I was the only one who enjoyed it. It was me and Rory.
Rory is insane.
It was me and Rory. We was on that island alone.
It was okay.
I cannot tell who is my friend. Mm-hmm. No, that is not Views.
Yeah,
that's More Life.
You like More Life?
I like that song.
Okay.
I don't like More Life.
You like Passion Fruit?
I need distance between you and them.
Anyway,
Doom.
Johnny in here talking about the Kendrick. He said,
"Go blue."
Anyway, Kendrick killed that the beat. His delivery and flow is what a rap beef is supposed to be. Cole's reply was a good track, but didn't have the same vibe. Agreed. The real question is Drake smashing Sexy Red.
Is Drake smashing Sexy Red? Maybe, probably, most likely. I mean, I don't think if she let Aiden Ross smack, then Drake probably got a piece.
Yikes. I just came back from St. Louis, and that's where Sexy Red is from.
Yep.
I get it. I understand what community breeds a Sexy Red. Like, I don't think I've ever been within the actual city of St. Louis. I get it now. I understand. Let's just say that. It's like a mix of like all these different Chicago, Memphis, a whole bunch of just different.
Yeah, I've never been able to put my finger on what a person from St. Louis should be looking like or act like. I guess
it's a lot of.
It's not exactly Southern, but it's not West Coast.
But they get a lot of
right in the middle of the country though. Like we're very Midwestern.
And it's just like, I get it.
It's like Gary, Indiana. Like, you know how people always tell you Gary, Indiana is like most dangerous to a whole bunch of black people.
Well, Gary, Indiana is like 20 minutes outside of Chicago. It's like what Akron is.
But I'm saying though, like, y'all thugging in Gary, Indiana? Y'all out here thugging in Indiana. Okay. Got you.
Yeah, no, I went to a hookah bar out there and the dude was about to fight the little bald head waitress, and I was like, I don't know what's going on here. Craziness. Everybody twerking. One gay dude's out there twerking. I was like, bro, I don't know what's happening out here.
I like my boy UC151. Cole had a whole song and basically some stuff that discredits his whole discography. Cole raps amazing, but was half asleep on the track.
Agreed.
Yep. Like Kendrick is saying, is whack for taking his time to release his albums is crazy. Thank you. Like, why is taking time to release your projects now weak?
That's something he learned from Drake.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing, like, slowly Drake's influence is rubbing off on Cole, and I don't like it.
Felt cute. Might delete later.
Slowly rubbing off on Cole, and I don't like it.
Facts.
Don't like it. Jermaine, blink twice.
I'm telling you, bro, he gonna come out and make a 2C slide on the fall off.
What album is better than To Pimp a Butterfly from Cole? I would say Forest Hill Drive.
Forest Hill Drive for sure.
Depending on the mood I'm in, maybe KOD.
Maybe Born Center.
Nah.
Maybe Born Center. Born Center is the second best.
I think you had two legitimate number ones on To Pimp a Butterfly. So if you didn't have that, if we're not starting there, then I don't think we can.
I mean, I said maybe.
Yeah, Born Center didn't have two number ones on there. They had Workout.
No, that was before Sideline Story.
So then what was on Born Center?
Crooked Smile with TLC.
Crooked Smile. Okay, that's the one.
And Power Trip.
On my way. Crooked Smile was the number one.
With Miguel. Power Trip.
Give me Power Trip. Got me up all night. I'm thinking that love song. Was that King Kunta and All Right?
I mean, it was a completely different vibe.
No. I mean, in terms of how big the song was. I think All Right was a popular song, but I don't think it was All Right. All Right was everywhere.
All Right was everywhere.
It was a protest leader.
So was Power Trip. Not Crooked Smile. Crooked Smile wasn't everywhere. It kind of was when it first came out, but then it kind of dwindled. Tony Robbins said, "What up, boy?" All right.
What up?
Invincible.
Sure. Oh man, let's talk about that finale. Damn, I forgot to go back. I'm 85% sure that Angstrom was wearing the same exact clothes that Principal Winslow was wearing, but I forgot to go back and confirm it because I was gonna rub that shit right in y'all's face because he had the fucking vest on and everything.
I mean, yeah, the suits were probably similar.
No, they were the same clothes.
same close.
Mm.
All right. Invincible season 2 finale. I thought you were stronger. Yes, that's right. For the finale, I remember the episode name. While Omni-Man is whooping Simulation ass before his execution, Invincible has to make it home to whip Angstrom's ass for putting his hands on Debbie and Bro. After explaining who he is to Mark, who doesn't remember Angstrom,
You don't remember?
Mark goes to destroy Bro, but he opens up a different dimension, one where dinosaurs are ready to eat Bro. That was kind of crazy.
Dinosaurs over here talking. One of the dinosaurs tried to stop him from eating Mark. If he can speak, he can think. But you know what? That really made me think about something. Why do we assume that dinosaurs couldn't communicate? Why do we assume that we were the only intelligent life on this planet that was capable of civilization or communication at a higher level or hyper level?
No idea.
We have no clue. And history has been wiped from our planet several times over. We have no idea what existed and what civilizations were taken back to ground zero from calamities. There have been several world-ending events that have happened already on this earth. Several that you know about that you've learned about in school, with the Ice Age and the meteor shit that happened with the dinosaurs.
And if you're religious, the Ark, the flood.
Well, sure, yeah. So, talking dinosaurs.
Mark gets back after his encounter with the dinosaurs, and Angstrom is holding Oliver. He explains that he won't hurt Mark's family so long as he dies. That's when he throws Oliver for Debbie to catch him, and Mark goes through another portal to see none other than Great Value Spider-Man fighting Great Value Doc Ock, amongst all of their multiverse jokes. Because apparently this Spider-Man has dealt with multiverses recently.
Shit, my boy on multiverse loop. See, like, this is it kind of got a little bit stereotypical on Angstrom's part in terms of the villain playing with his food. He very easily could have opened up a portal and sent Mark right into a volcano or something, and this could have been over with.
Yeah, especially if he can control, like he could control where Debbie and Oliver were going to go. So he can control that.
Fam, there was no reason why he should have lost this fight, especially showing what he was able to do against Mark.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what he was able to do in that house, there's no way that Mark should have been able to get the upper hand over him.
Facts.
But he got overconfident, right? And he left a window open for him to be overtaken. And, well, we'll see how that happens.
Mark comes back and tells Angstrom that he isn't a killer. He reminds him that he was the one that tried to save him. After sending Mark through a portal, Angstrom starts to remember some of these other dimensions, including the memory of him taking off the helmet to help Mark. However, this also includes a memory of Invincible killing Angstrom's son and one of him killing Bro's like wife or girlfriend or whoever that was.
This is what this was I'm sure an unintended consequence of Angstrom being out of the show for so long. But how is it that he has compiled every memory from every version of him from all those universes that he compiled, but doesn't remember how the accident happened? That doesn't.
Yeah, that's a little.
That doesn't make any sense, right? Like I know everything else. I know I got to go kill this Mark Grayson. Like I didn't go try to kill the Mark Grayson that we started the show with, and that Omni-Man. I came back to this universe with my infinite power that I have now to kill this Mark specifically, but I don't remember how the accident happened.
Especially when multiple Angstroms saw that happen. So there's multiple memories.
The dudes that rebuilt you, the twins that rebuilt you, told you what happened. Like immediately after and as they were rebuilding you.
Oversight.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Mark comes back and hits Angstrom and yokes him up and tells him to leave Debbie and Oliver alone, just for Angstrom to threaten him again with another portal. Mark sacrifices himself for Debbie and Oliver, but Angstrom throws a knife at Debbie and Mark catches it before going through another portal.
That shit was hard. Sure. He wasn't even thinking about it. He was like, man, this shit over with. You're like, you sure, motherfucker? Sink. That's pocket knife.
Yikes. According to Angstrom, Debbie is also complicit in some of the murders in other dimensions. They have this back and forth about whether or not this is the one dimension where Angstrom is the villain and Mark is the hero because Debbie knows who she raised and what he has done.
Crazy, because that's exactly what it is. Precisely what it is.
Yeah. Then Angstrom throws Debbie and breaks her arm. Bro doesn't even hear himself speak about hurting. Oh, bro doesn't hear himself speak? Oh, he's not even listening to himself about hurting a child and Oliver.
I'm
Like,
gonna
you're
make
clearly
him
the villain.
hurt.
You're clearly the
I'm
villain.
gonna make her hurt.
Like, you're holding the child. by his
Everyone
leg.
will hurt.
Bro, clearly doesn't hear himself. Mark is traveling through different dimensions, one in which he questions Batman and how he came up with his name, and one that included what seemed to be Mad Max. Angstrom finally peeks through a portal, and Mark comes back to see what he's done and tries to steal off.
Yeah, that was that overconfident shit. Like, yeah, I'm gonna just leave a portal here for him to walk through, and when he don't come through, I'm gonna just poke my fucking face through it because that's smart.
But Angstrom then whoops his ass through multiple dimensions. That is until Angstrom threatens his family one more time. After beating Bro to death, Mark mentions, "I thought you were stronger." And at the time, I wondered whether or not this quote meant he thought Angstrom was stronger or if he thought himself.
So there was a part in the scrum where Mark regains kind of strength over Angstrom. Angstrom grabs his hands and kind of soups up. He was like, part of the upgrades when they were rebuilding me, you know, they got me stronger. They built my body up.
Yeah.
Why did you think I let you go through all those portals all that time? I was softening you up. Da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, work they were doing on him was part of it, was getting him an upgrade. Now Mark has always struggled with really cutting loose and using his powers to the max.
Yeah.
Right. Because he doesn't want to kill.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Angstrom said that to him and then threatened his family again, it's like, not only did he lose his shit, but you just told me that you were stronger. So now I'm about to hit you like you're stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm about to go because you're not stopping.
Yeah. You're
not stopping. So I think it was a combination of him thinking, well, all right, this is not the same dude I was fighting before.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to stop before. And him being enraged about dude continuously threatening his mom.
Yeah, and it got confirmed
later. Damn arm.
Right.
Snapped her fucking arm.
Right. Yeah, no, it got confirmed later on when he kept kind of pondering on this, but I just thought maybe right then after I heard that, I was like, was he talking to himself maybe? And saying like, I thought you were stronger to prevent yourself from getting to this point. Yeah, but Cecil finds Debbie all fucked up and admits that he doesn't know where Mark is. Mark is trying to justify killing Angstrom. He admits that he lost control and that he wanted to kill him and ponders on what that makes him. I thought it was weird that bro didn't just fly away from where he was instead of dying in the desert, but then he
had no idea where he was at. Yeah, he could have been flying forever. Yeah. Like the dimension he was in could have been infinite desert.
Yeah.
Which I'm thinking he probably tried. He definitely tried at some point.
Well, he did.
Because the time was working differently.
He said he couldn't see anything.
No.
But anyway, Omni-Man gets his ass whooped, but is strong enough to walk out of the room into the hallway back to his cell. And it's here he sees Alan the alien. Bro's plan was to get locked up and basically free Omni-Man. And at least talk to him.
His Viltrumite fighting forces coming together.
Yep.
Coming together.
Well, Mark continues to see nothing as far as the eye can see, but I'm pretty sure he could probably still try to whatever. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure he could still at least try to fly, but whatever. That's when the Guardians came through looking decidedly older. Because things get fucked up 20 years in the future without Mark, and Mark becomes something crazy according to Robot, they get him back to his time, but not before Adam Eve admits that she loves Mark. And she makes Mark tell present
With the
Eve
lesbian Bob, though. The lesbian
that was
cut.
Insane. That was insane. Is that why does she have to look like that when she's older?
Like Sergeant Eve over there.
Why can't she just have her long hair, but it's grayer?
That shit was crazy.
Also, Eve calls Robot Rex, and he's obviously we know how Robot obviously transformed himself from Rex. But like
no, that was actually Rex.
Okay. I was gonna say she called him Rex, so I'm like,
dude must have died.
Okay.
What's his name? Not Teddy. Fucking. What is his name? God damn it!
No.
What's Robot? No. What is the robot's name, y'all? What's the robot's name? It's not Teddy. Why am I doing that? It's fucking. Damn it.
Rudy.
It was something knee. That's what I kept saying. Teddy. Rudy.
Yeah, no, she called him Rex.
Yeah, that's Rex. It was Rex.
Okay. Just making sure. Because it's Rex in Robot. Get up. Anyway, Mark sees Debbie and cries after he admits that it's over. Cecil tells Mark that he didn't have a choice and explains that he's not his dad. Mark admits that he just lost it. This episode is really painting a good job of like painting this gray area of who's good and who's bad, which I think could potentially be setting up to more. Well, I mean, they've always kind of dabbled in that though.
Fam, they about to send us on a whole emotional roller coaster with the next season because of what happens at the very end of this. But yeah, no, they are kind of blurring the lines. I feel like everybody, any superhero content on Prime has done that. Has really kind of smeared the line between villain and hero. Yeah. Like heroes don't mean what they traditionally mean in DC or Marvel. Hell, a lot of these guys that are considered heroes in this universe will be considered at very least anti-heroes in Marvel or DC.
Oh, for sure.
At very least, if not full out villains. So
for sure.
Yeah. A lot of jeopardy in this universe.
Robot tries to apologize, or I should say, Rudy tries to apologize for helping Beast Girl. Is that her name? Beast Girl?
Yeah.
And all she asks for is for him to speak to him, not just about her problem that she has about de-aging, but about anything else. And then they agree to another date.
Yeah, and then maybe you should stop just changing for the sake of changing so you don't end up in diapers, because this relationship is going to get really weird if you get any younger.
Sure.
That's probably why he was stressing so much. He's like, you're about to be 8 years old. I can't have sex with an 8-year-old. Please stop.
Yeah.
You're my only chance to have sex. Please stop de-aging. That's what Rudy was really mad about.
Man. The Immortal went out ice fishing and came back into his home, and there's Duplicate. Apparently, she's been living through copies just in case.
Are you telling me that one lady got 8, another lady's copies got smashed together, Rex got shot in the head, and not a single one of them died?
Yep.
Not a single one?
Yep.
Now, I just got done talking about how the jeopardy and the stakes and yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
Are y'all for real?
Yep.
Not a single person?
Nope.
None of them died?
None of them.
It really doesn't really have the same oomph. You know, watching it back, I'm not going to have the same feeling that I had watching it initially, knowing that nobody died.
Yeah.
And how the fuck didn't they know? But you know what? It's also kind of obvious. Like if I had that ability, I'd send a bunch of them motherfuckers across the world. Just go live your life. Just in case.
Sure. Makes sense.
I'd have somebody in the United States, somebody in Africa, somebody in I don't know, Japan. Yeah. All over the world.
Yep.
And I wouldn't tell anybody about them.
Makes sense. 2 girls, one of them at least has superpowers, super strength, I should say, goes to a pyramid-like structure and break in. The one that seemingly doesn't have powers goes in and recognizes her dead father on the steps. A mummy comes alive and says that he can only take over the body of a male host, and the 2 girls complain that he is being sexist.
There were a lot of meta jokes in this season for Invincible. That was one of them. I thought that was pretty funny.
No, it was.
But that I don't think that's going to be a continued plot thread, but maybe we'll see.
We'll see. Mark flies by and is still contemplating his life and everything that's happened. Eventually, Mark and family come back home, and Debbie still seems a bit shook, which is understandable. Mark explains to Debbie that he's not going to college anymore. He then explains that he has to learn how to become better.
How are you going to make money? Like, if they're not paying you, how the fuck are you going to earn a living? And you know what was so stupid about him quitting college? He's like, oh, what do I need to go to college for? And Mark, does the entire world know that you're Mark Grayson? Okay, so then Mark Grayson is going to have to continue to have a life when you don't have the suit on, right? Dumb shit. So what do you expect Mark Grayson to do? And if you don't do anything after high school, you can't just show up with this big ass house and not have anybody suspicious about what you do secretly. Because you ain't got no damn job or no education.
He can become a YouTuber, fly around the world, do a travel
vlog.
He
absolutely cannot become a YouTuber because he's always gone.
Travel vlog.
Nah, I don't think that's going to work. I don't think he can exactly show off all the alien planets he's going to be fighting on. Yeah, it's a little silly. Like, imagine Clark Kent telling his mom telling Martha after Jonathan Kent dies, I'm never going back to school. I'm just gonna focus on being a superhero full time. Clark, I don't know if you remember this, but you're also, have a human persona that you have to keep up. You can't just fly around and be Superman every day, all day for the rest of your life.
Sure.
Know what I mean? Unless you're just gonna kill this whole secret identity we've carefully crafted for you over the last 10, 15 years. Screw it, huh? Screw it. And then it's not even just like, it's just like you. Then what happened to Mark? Where did Mark go? What happened to your son, Mark? Yeah. Ever since that Invincible guy's been around every day, 24/7, your son Mark has never been around.
That's why he can't have a regular job, because he's never going to be there.
No, but he has to have a regular job to protect Debbie. People have to think that Mark Grayson is Mark Grayson. If they think Mark Grayson is invincible, then Debbie is immediately in danger. So that's why you need to go to college, Mark.
Travel vlog it up, bro. You got it.
This is dumb.
Eve is on what looks like the Golden Gate Bridge, and Mark comes flying up. Eve asks about everything that's happened, and Mark doesn't want to talk about it. Then Mark explains that there's something else he wants to talk about, but then pussy's out.
Oh, this is a bitch.
Then Eve explains that Mark doesn't deserve this, when it is in fact Eve that doesn't deserve this.
Eve thought that her telling Mark that she actually loved him would turn the tide from him probably being a bad guy in the future. And this nigga didn't tell her. So watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Well, that's foreshadowing if I ever seen it.
Post-credit scene. Alan finally talks to Omni-Man about everything that's happened. Omni-Man discusses how he feels about everything that he's done. Alan explains that the Viltrumites are doing that times 1,000 on other planets. Then Omni-Man states out loud, I think I miss my
wife. Oh, nigga. You have no clue how far that ship is sailed. You have no clue. If they allow Debbie to go back to Omni-Man,
I mean, she's already raising his kid.
Holy shit. How crazy is that?
It could happen.
Wait, what wife is he talking about? Maybe he was talking about the bug.
Well, the bug would have been so old, if not already dead.
He can still love her. He can still miss her. That was his most recent wife.
Sure, but he didn't really care about her.
Alan should have been like, which one?
That's insane.
Which one, man? The bug or the human?
That'd have been insane. Johnny says, I'm so glad Mark stopped holding back.
Yeah.
I didn't like Mark not just flying when sent to those other universes. When you can fly, you don't have to fight guys that can't. He has to get better. They probably still got all that money Omni-Man made.
Well, no. The family still has the money that Omni-Man made. But he confirmed, was it 2 episodes ago, he's not getting paid.
Yeah.
He's not getting paid right now. So going to work for them full time and not going to college is not going to earn him a paycheck. And then again, people know Mark Grayson. People are going to follow Mark Grayson's life after he drops out of college. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there can be that much of a degree of separation between who Mark Grayson is and Omni-Man. Right? There has to be some sort of level in there so that you can hide as both. But when the homeless person that's supposed to be Mark Grayson pops out of his cardboard box in a blue and yellow suit, you know what I'm saying, to go save the day, it's going to be a little bit obvious.
Sure. And he also said she still loves him. Debbie, Mark.
You think so?
Debbie
and Nolan?
Yeah, bro.
That'd be kind of hard to go back to. Not only did you nearly beat my son to death, but you caught me a pet.
Yeah, he did.
You called me a pet, you know. That's kind of hard to come back to.
Sure, but you're raising his kid.
But you almost killed my kid.
You at least come to terms enough to be like, okay, I'll raise your fucking kid.
I think that was more for Mark than it was for him.
Sure. So then,
like, I think if she had to rationalize it as she was doing that for Nolan, that baby would be in the dumpster. but the fact that Mark cares about him, and it would mean something to Mark if something happened to Oliver, then that's more of her reason for doing this. I don't think it has shit to do with Nolan. I would hope. Now they could do a 180 and say like, oh yeah, she's still caught up, but I
Can't date nobody else.
It's a long reach, boy. You know, she can't date anybody else.
So, hey,
in my opinion, she is putting any one of her new boyfriends in serious jeopardy.
Facts.
By even entertaining it. Even a booty call is putting you at risk.
Facts. The good thing is, I don't know that, but I do know something's coming soon. So,
okay. Anyway,
we'll see.
Let's move on. I want to move past the point where you know stuff that I don't.
It's going to take a while. But it's the big thing, and everybody knows it. I'm surprised you don't know yet.
Rose?
Everybody was talking.
No, I haven't looked it up. I don't want to know.
What did Rick Ross do? Oh, have you ever watched what's it called? It's Caleb Presley with it's him. He does the weird interviews, like the funny interviews for Barstool, and then he's got Glimmy Balls.
White dude.
Yeah, they
was interviewing Cardi B recently, right? Yes. Yep.
Yeah, they did one for Ross like a couple months ago that I just saw today.
Yikes. You gotta eat lemon pepper before you go to bed. Eat it with pears.
Shout out to all the pears.
Shout out to all the pears. I've been eating pears and shit. Shout out to all the pears.
Insane. Whoa. All right. She still loves him. Hell yeah. They were married a long time, bro.
Okay. I mean, Johnny. Hell hath no theory like a woman scorned, remember? You know? And that's just for like shit like cheating. Like, not like beating my son into a crater. Or after beating my son into a crater, going knocking up a roach.
A roach.
And then making me take care of the roach filter my baby.
A roach is crazy.
I mean, effectively to humans, that's what she was.
Ready for Behind the Cave? Sure. Behind the Cave. So, we've been talking quite a bit about this. Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler, Jim Crow Blade movie.
Literally the Blade script. Like, they're getting everybody. They got Mia Goth, which was supposed to be the villain in the original script. They got Delroy Lindo, who was supposed to be Whistler.
Delroy Lindo. He's supposedly been added to the cast.
Damn. Well, I kind of jumped the gun on that. But yes, yeah, this is it is literally turning into what they were trying to do. It feels like initially with Blade.
Yeah.
But Ryan wasn't involved in that project. Neither was Michael B. Jordan. So I'm really confused.
And neither was WB.
Neither was WB. Still not in love with the whole Jim Crow stuff. I really, God, honestly don't know why that needs to be in this movie. Like, if you want to make a period film about two twin black vampires, you can do that without acknowledging racism.
Sure.
You're going to do that without writing white supremacy into your film.
Absolutely.
I think we could all benefit from some more stuff that doesn't include that shit, you know? Just because it exists doesn't mean we have to constantly talk about it and put it in all of our art.
But you don't think Delroy Lindo being added to the cast makes it a little bit more?
I don't think that changes the calculus whatsoever. I think they're good actors in trauma films all the time.
I just meant like
we've seen a whole cast
really seem that legitimate at first, and now it's kind of starting to seem like it's.
Yeah, I mean,
it's getting late.
We are far away from a finished product, but the fact that they keep talking about it lets me know that it has a lot of steam, and they are casting actors. So, yeah, I don't know really what to expect in terms of how I'll enjoy the movie, but you know, it's definitely not. It's not looking too good. They've got a good cast, and so that is strong, right? But just the premise. The way that certain films have been coming over with audiences, especially black audiences over the last couple of years, man, it is just not, especially in a fantasy space, right? Like white and black people white people, for very obvious reasons, are not going to want to fuck with this film. Black people, I think, in an uncommon way, are going to buck this premise because we are tired of having to see ourselves in subservient lights to white supremacy. Even in a fantastical realm, like, don't want to see it. Don't want to see it. And so now we got two supernatural figures, two vampires, twin vampires, who are somehow going to still be subservient to white supremacy, somehow, some way.
The things that you're talking about makes it sound like you're talking about the Society of Magical
Negroes, right? Like, that's what I'm saying.
Which is at 2.5 million, I think, box office right now. Insane.
Put that bury that shit out back. I don't think people were asking for this. I don't think this is the break from structure that people were looking for, people being me, for Ryan Coogler, in terms of some of the tropes that he leans on as a creator.
Sure.
If this was supposed to be the swing that shows that I don't need an established property to work from, I don't need established IP to adapt, I can do an original, I don't need somebody's life to write about,
I don't need an already preset story.
Yeah, I can do it original. This is not a good swing, It's not, like, from what we know about the project already, it's not a good swing.
Yeah.
It's too similar to something that's already actively being made.
Maybe.
This is like Minority Report and that movie that Ben Affleck made with Uma Thurman, like, it was about the same time, same premise. Can't remember what it was called though, but it was basically the same movie as Minority Report. They came out at the same fucking time. I hate when movies do that. Paycheck. Yeah. Why didn't I just say Paycheck? Paycheck was at the front of my head.
Yikes. Oh my God. Looking at the plot thing.
It is basically Minority Report. And those movies came out like within like a half a year of each other.
Yeah. Somewhere around there. Yeah. Oh, this came out Christmas 2003. John Woo directed the Paycheck.
John Woo, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Anyway, got some other movies that are either in development or now have a trailer. So let's see what you think about them. First one, Mandalorian and Grogu set for 2026.
Yeah, don't like how it got reorged. It was originally going to be the first movie to premiere. First movie to come out of the new slate. Now it seems like it's going to be second to the Ridley movie, to the Rey movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not in love with that. Also not in love with how we're just going to pop up back in the theater for Mando and Grogu, basically off of what we've seen from them at the end of Mando season 3. And that's going to leave a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. If the rumor is true about them not doing a Mando season 4 and them just jumping towards the movie,
yeah,
I feel like that's
too much time in between.
Not only is it too much time, they didn't leave off on a good note. Like, you need a rehabilitation period for those characters before you introduce them to the big screen. If they would have gone to the big screen off of season 2, off of Luke coming back, getting Grogu, taking off with him, starting his training, Din Djarin taking off his helmet, showing his face to Grogu. Perfect time to go to the big screen. Perfect time. It's like nobody has a feel for what's going on, about how people feel, where actual excitement is within the fan base. Nobody has a feel for that anymore, because Mando season 2 was the time. That is a time that you could have theoretically put Din Djarin and Grogu on the big screen and people would have just thrown their money at it. Mm-hmm. Will they do it today when merchandising sales for your best merchandising piece, Grogu, is already going down? I don't know. I don't think so. Like, does it feel like Star Wars as a property is healthy enough to get people to come out and watch a movie for a television show? Does it feel like they're in that good of a place? So for comparisons purposes, that's like at one point in time, people thought that Walking Dead was going to end up having a movie, right? So the time for that probably would have been somewhere in between when they started the Governor arc and Negan, right? Getting introduced to Negan and that whole arc playing out. that probably was the window for something like that to happen. And then everything before or beyond wasn't big enough. Crowd wasn't big enough. Attention to the brand wasn't big enough to warrant putting in millions of dollars for a film, right? So if we know that if that's the kind of example we're setting it for Walking Dead, that window is even shorter for a project like Mandalorian because it's been around a quarter of the time. So with that being said, I don't think that Mando is in a good enough spot right now within its own fan base or the Star Wars fan base as a whole to say, okay, now instead of the monthly subscription that you're getting, come on down here Friday night, give me a $9.50, give me a $10.50, your $14 somewhere, and come see this on the big screen and expect to be able to recoup the budget that you need to make a movie like that. I don't feel like that's where we're at with Mando.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And then the delay just makes things even worse.
It makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Like it's not this. The problem that they have right now with Grogu and Mando is not going to get better with time.
Right.
They need to be seen again in the favorable light that they were in season 2 and season 1.
Yeah. Okay. I know you feel differently about Dune Messiah being in development.
Hell yeah. See, the reason why I don't give a shit about all this Star Wars travesty that's happening right now is because we got Dune. Because Dune is back. They're fast tracking another installment. The game is coming out. Stuff is perpetuating. I wouldn't be surprised if Warner Brothers found their way into a series that was related to Dune. Because it's hot right now. I think it's headed towards $700 million at the box office. Just man, I couldn't be happier for a franchise, to be honest with you. It's in a space right now where most of the giants are struggling.
Still in a void for you.
Yeah, and outside of this, like there's really nothing to call home about Warner Brothers. So at the same time that they're not really dominating the market share, there's one thing that they're doing that is pleasing me in the sci-fi space, and that's Dune.
Got you. Denis Villeneuve is directing a movie by the name of Nuclear War, a scenario which very much seems to be a spiritual successor to Oppenheimer.
It's an interesting Oppenheimer. So instead of us talking about historical events and us stretching that thing on out for 2.5, 3 hours almost, what we're actually going to show you is the shit that you want to see. Right? Is the bomb going off and the fallout? What happens if we actually press the button? What happens if the world actually ends? And not because of a zombie apocalypse, because of an ice age, or some random disease. What if some of the most powerful people on the planet decide that total calamity is the only answer and they press the button? What does that look like? Now that's the Oppenheimer that I wanted to see, not fucking Truman and Einstein. And
they had to speak to an actual historical event as opposed to.
I still haven't seen that damn movie.
That's crazy.
I still have not seen it. I've seen Barbie and I haven't seen Oppenheimer.
Oh, I still haven't seen Barbie.
I've seen Barbie. I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic Four has some news, but the biggest thing to me is the fact that Lakeith Stanfield thought he was supposed to be cast as Silver Surfer.
Well, we can't just skip to that. We can't skip to that. We got to start with old girl from Ozark, my boy Ruth from Ozark, getting cast as Shia LaBeouf as the Silver Surfer.
Mm-hmm.
So going with Shia LaBeouf, first of all, instead of going with Norman Rad, is increasingly frustrating. So we're doing we're still doing the female led characters and some of these roles, in which it's not the female characters, it's the position they're being put in that makes it the positions it to be a gender bend or a gender swap. That is frustrating. Shia LaBeouf is a love interest of Norman Rad.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly to how we were being convinced that, Shuri was a legitimate, Black Panther because she wore the suit during the Hudlin run for those 12 issues. It happened in the comics. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The similar defense was coming online for this. Oh, Shia LaBeouf was a Silver Surfer.
Mm-hmm.
Bam, I think she was Silver Surfer for one issue.
Mm.
Like even less so than Shuri.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're at a point where even less is required in terms of that Marvel requirement that it has a basis in the comics.
Sure.
I mean, it's dwindling.
Yeah, pretty soon it's
That
going
requirement
to be fictional as it pertains to the actual comics.
Like at this point, the damn Porky Pig Spider-Man is continuity. Like he's canon. He's real.
Or we're just gonna start making stuff up on the fly.
It is getting terrible. It's getting terrible. And so that now we're introducing the love interest of Norrin Radd before Norrin Radd. What version of storytelling are we? So then it would make sense to introduce Black Cat before we introduce Spider-Man.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
It would make sense to introduce Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy before we introduce Spider-Man. That makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
Right? Matter of fact, it makes sense for Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy to be in the Spider-Man suit before we ever see Spider-Man.
It makes perfect sense.
Right? Because that makes it. We should start the X-Men off with Laura Kinney and not Logan. That's what we should do. That's a winning recipe.
Absolutely.
Female Logan before Logan as a backdoor to Logan. Like, I don't even, this move does not tell me 100% that we're getting Norrin Radd, that we're getting this guy. Doesn't tell me that we're getting that just because she has a loose connection to him. Yeah. There's been so many examples of Marvel throwing out loose connections to things that never play out. Right now, that is total speculation, and we have no reason to believe that the Silver Surfer in the MCU is going to be anybody other than Ruth from Mozart.
Especially since you cast the person who's going to demand a nice little paycheck. Now, you didn't just cast them for this one thing, and then it's going to go to Norrin Radd.
We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of things about this project that we got that we're starting to find out. So it's going to be a period piece. Right. Franklin and Valeria are going to be there. We're going to start the movie with Sue being pregnant with Franklin. Which was an interesting take because I feel like while a standard origin story probably wasn't the best way to go, I don't think we've ever really gotten the story of how the Fantastic Four got together on the big screen. They've always been an established team when it started, even the Fan Four Stick shit. Right? They were already an established team. They never came together.
Yeah.
We never saw Reed meet Victor Von Doom. We never seen Storm and Reed meet. Mm-hmm. Right? We never seen Storm and Johnny as children or anything like that. So it's maybe we didn't have to do like your standard run-of-the-mill origin story, but it may have been a good look to maybe go all the way back to when the group got together. Mm-hmm. Maybe Reed and Ben meeting for the first time, becoming best friends. Did we just become best friends? Yup.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe they just feel like it'd be too hard to explain why the Fantastic Four hasn't been involved in.
Well, I think that was the whole point of them making it a period piece, making it, back in time kind of thing. But even still, with that, if you're going to take us back to, it's also alternate universe, whatever. Time, reality, they're kind of conflating it anyways.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do that, it does give you the opportunity to explain a little bit further, to create your own course. Mm-hmm. If it's broken from, or at least, presently as they're going to start, if it's broken from the main Marvel continuity, you can do virtually anything.
Yeah.
They were Avengers. They introduced the X-Men. They did this. They did that. You could do literally anything.
Including creating a trilogy where you can properly introduce them the way that you're suggesting.
Well, they're fast-tracking this project so that they can get them into the MCU.
Sure.
So I don't think there's going to be any long progression like we had in Phase 1. Which oddly enough was the most successful versions of character development that we've seen. But I digress.
But Lakeith Stanfield.
So the Lakeith Stanfield thing, people were speculating that is the reason why we may still get Norrin Radd. Like they may have been casting them both. Like if he was that sure that he would say something in public about it and then later delete the tweet, that does seem to say that he was told something and then later told something else about his response to what he was told.
And told to delete that bullshit.
And so there may be some stuff working with Lakeith and they're trying to keep that quiet so that it's a surprise. Maybe they only announced the female surfer to kind of get ruffle people's feathers. because they love rage baiting. Disney as a company loves rage bait. And then have Norrin Rad be the big reveal that actually comes out in the movie. Not a bad idea if that's the route that we're actually going. I just have zero confidence that that's where we're getting.
Keith Stanfield and Ruth from Ozark is nuts.
If they're gonna spend the entire time, in the silver suits, it doesn't really bother me.
Sure.
Now the parts of it that have to show them in their human form is gonna be nuts. Yeah, it's gonna be insanity.
I'm just saying,
but
crazy pairing.
95% of their time as these characters is going to be spent looking just like that. Yeah. So,
still, insane.
Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Rolling inside of you. If these walls could talk. I love it when I'm in it. I love it when I'm in it.
Teaser trailer for Bambi as a part of the Twisted Childhood universe.
Bam, I seen the Bambi trailer. I don't know if anybody else did.
Did not.
It looks nuts.
I would imagine.
It looks nuts.
I would imagine.
It's like it's giving a little bit of Cocaine Bear, a little bit of Blood and Honey. Definitely some ridiculousness going on there.
Bambi's out for revenge.
It is a souped up Bambi.
Bambi's out for revenge, y'all.
What I took from the trailer is that the hunter who actually killed Bambi's mom was talking about killing Bambi's mom, and then we got a peek of Bambi.
How did I know?
And then we got a peek of Bambi.
Called
craziness. Flipping a goddamn truck with his antlers. The deer the size of a moose.
Well, the next one's supposed to be Peter Pan.
Yeah, see, we don't have to get too deep into all of it. We don't have to ruin every story from
That's what they had on that list.
No, we don't got it.
That's the next one, according to their Twisted Childhood universe.
Just imagine what the fantasy island where the kids never grow up is actually going to be in that movie.
That's insane.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what it is. It's going to be Epstein's Island.
Yo. That is wild. Woo! All right, moving on. Since we spoke about Invincible, obviously we review it. Robert Kirkman says he wants every episode of season 3 to feel like a finale, which means he's going to take a huge break in between episodes.
Yeah, let's do away with the hiatus. But I'm not mad at this. This is giving like season. When did Battle of the Bastards happen? Was that season 6 of Game of Thrones? Probably the best season of Game of Thrones.
Before the 2 worst ones?
We got the Red Wedding. We got Battle of the Bastards. We got something else. All that happened in season 3. It was like 3 very big events that happened in season 3 of Game of Thrones before they got into that bullshit. Season 7 was the warning shot for season 8. Like things really started getting haywire there. But in season 6, everything kind of felt like a very climactic ending. Like shit was happening. You know what I mean? Oh, you don't watch Game of Thrones.
I do not.
Something big happened with Pedro Pascal's character in season 6 of Game of Thrones. He was in Game of Thrones.
Okay.
He was Oberyn Martell from House Martell.
No, it doesn't sound right. House Martell?
Or House Martell.
Where's Tate?
Anyways, let's move.
Okay. Bob Iger's out here talking. Says, let's talk about the main thing. The term woke is thrown around rather liberally. No pun intended in that regard. I think a lot of people don't even understand really what it means.
Not a clue. Right on the nose.
Bob Iger being right about
very woke. Odd that the old Jewish guy, the old Jewish CEO of Disney,
being absolutely right about woke.
Is absolutely right about woke. More right than some of the black commentators that have found their way to start using it. But 100% right. Which makes it so odd that he's 100% wrong for the next thing he's about to talk about.
Bob Iger on a potential Disney Plus Hulu merger with Netflix or Max. I think there are some possibilities there.
Fam, your cable. You're cable. Y'all are cable.
That's crazy.
Explain to me how streaming is different from cable. Okay, so we're gonna have this large library of content that you can choose from and you watch. It's gonna be streamed online, right? But then slowly but surely, our prices are going to start matching, or at least incrementally, the equivalent of what we could provide in a cable package to what we could provide on a streaming package is going to be the equivalent, right? So it's like that section that Disney would naturally provide you in your cable package is what we were going to provide you in your streaming percentage. So that's what you're really paying for, right? And so now that hasn't necessarily been a model for exponential growth, or growing subscribers. So now we're going to hitch our wagon to other companies and try to give a bundled experience. So now National Geographic and Hulu are going to be a part of our Disney bundle. But that's not successful either. We're just going to fully leech ourselves to competitors in a sort of cable package.
Yeah. Yep.
All the way back to ground zero, where we were already in a package with our competitors before.
Yep. You're gonna pay us instead of the cable companies.
It's almost as like our problem was doing business with the companies we were doing business with and not the model. It's almost as cable wasn't the issue. It was just that we had to split profits with these few companies that we don't like, that we're actually competing with. So let's just try to X them out and do our own business. And when that didn't work, we'll just try to create our own cable package, our own cable industry, and we'll call it streaming.
Makes sense.
Not to mention the monopoly powers that comes from stuff like this. Like,
sure.
Come on, man.
Sure.
Come on, man. But yes, let's starve all of the writers and producers and VFX artists while they're losing their homes, because we need that money. We need that dollar bills, y'all.
Just fuck them. That's why.
Yeah. Good quote, bad quote by Bob Iger.
For sure. I think you had one other thing that I didn't write down. But I also wanted to mention that Monkey Man, the Indian John Wick,
Oof.
10 million box office. Also, I didn't know that they had like they're being praised for having essentially trans characters in it.
I
hope
hope
that was a part of it.
I hope that however they are centered in the film is not reflective of its box office draw, because that would seem to suggest that maybe they centered that a little bit higher than the overall storytelling, which doesn't seem to be a theme of Dave Patel's work, right? Like is it Dev Patel or Dave?
Dev Patel.
Excuse me, Dev Patel's work.
Yeah.
At least from what I've seen, like
a
lot of stuff.
Jordan Peele.
See, I never know when Jordan Peele is actually creatively involved or just like slap my name on it type shit.
Question.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
Yep.
Because again, executive producer to me screams I paid to be attached to this project.
Sure.
I added funding to this project. I am an executive producer, i.e. Steph Curry to Good Times. I don't think that Steph Curry was sitting in the writer's room when this was being created. I don't think he was there storyboarding. I don't think he was there during table reads. I think he cut a check and got an executive producer title. So if that's where Jordan Peele is on this, okay. If he had some creative direction, I don't know how to tell the difference.
Sure. I also feel like Monkey Man didn't necessarily get a lot of publicity.
And they also only spent about $10 million making it too. So it wasn't like it had an exorbitant budget.
A lot of that went to marketing.
But the fact that Dev Patel's name alone couldn't get it over $10 million, that doesn't speak well. And I was actually really excited to see this movie.
Agreed.
Not really great. That's not great at all.
No. No. I think you said one other thing that I didn't write on the list that I forgot to write on the list.
Let's see. Baby girl going haywire over here. It's because she's been skipping her naps.
Damn.
She's been trying to stay down for like 45 minutes and wake up.
Mm-hmm. She want to be part of what's going on. Always.
So, all right, we talked about. What did we talk about? Los Villanueva, talked about that. Talked about there it is right there. So the showrunner for the Avatar: Last Airbender series on Netflix, Albert Kim, is stepping down from that position. He's going to be the executive producer for Disney now on the Percy Jackson series, which I've yet to even crack open. Not really interested. But that was a bit surprising.
You hating on Percy Jackson, bro?
I'm not hating on Percy Jackson. It's just not something that I was very keen on seeing. Haven't really heard a lot of buzz on it. It's one of those quiet failures for Disney, like Willow. Anybody see Willow? Anybody heard of Willow? Huh? Yeah, it's one of those silent failures that they're kind of like pushing to their back. But they're seeming to get a gut punch into that adaptation, similarly to like what we got from the Airbender series on Netflix. So what's more surprising to me is that Albert Kim was willing to walk away from the Airbender series so early and go with Disney, who's not in a very dissimilar spot with adaptations.
I was gonna say, it seems like y'all liked the Avatar series.
I liked it. The reviews online were so-so. Rotten Tomatoes treated it as so-so.
I would argue still probably better than
what they're getting from Percy Jackson. Like, it's had to come with a raise and also maybe a direction from Disney that they're trying to maybe, stunt some of their competitors in this space. Because Lord knows they can't compete on the merit. Lord knows they can't compete on the merit. So this does seem to be business savvy on Disney's part and a little bit of apathy on Albert Kim's part, that maybe it wasn't as universally accepted as a project as he may have liked. Which seems to be a little bit short-sighted to me. Sure. That's my opinion on it all. I have no insider information on how all this played out or why any of these decisions were made. But just kind of viewing it as a fan, it seems like the reception wasn't as great as maybe we anticipated it being. Here's this opportunity for more money at a competitor. Why not? I don't really see anything beyond that would make me say that Percy Jackson as an adaptation is that much better or it's like
what you were already working on.
If you were doing Airbender and then somebody called you to do a Dragon Ball Z live action adaptation, I'd say, okay, that's a level up. Somebody asked you to come and do a Attack on Titan live action adaptation. Okay, that's a level up. Airbender to Percy Jackson is a lateral move. So outside of a pay bump, I don't really get why you would move.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Maybe we'll get more information going forward.
Maybe. Any other thoughts for Behind the Cape at all?
That's it, man. I feel like that was even though we had a lot of topics, that was a pretty quick round.
Yeah. Yep.
Pretty quick round.
Ready for W's and L's?
Let's get it.
Good.
Did you know that the words to that song were Square Business? Square Biz is the name to that song. Tina Marie. I'm talking love. That is Square Biz. I'm talking Square Biz to you, baby. Square Biz. Actually knew what the words were?
I don't think I ever thought.
Me either. I don't know what I thought it was, but it's definitely not Square Biz.
Square Biz sounds like it should be a jingle for
Straight Biz. Is it Square Biz or Straight Biz? It's one of those. Something Biz. Square Biz is Square Biz. Square Biz.
Pretty sure Square Biz.
I'm talking Square Biz to you, baby. Square Biz.
Insane. This household is insane.
You got playing everywhere. Dubs and L's.
W's and L's, the weekly recap show. We give a dub to the things that we like and an L to the things that we don't. It's on you.
Oh, wow. I actually had a question to ask you. Probably should have asked you before we started. So,
shit.
Let's start with the South Carolina women's basketball team.
Shout out to South Carolina, so I don't have to hear about Caitlin Clark winning the championship.
On a national championship this Sunday afternoon. Shout out to them, man, for bringing it home. 38-0.
Thank goodness.
38-0. My only question is somebody got to remind me who was ahead and by how much when that brawl with LSU happened in the SEC tournament. Because that seems to be the only potential blemish on their season. That could have been, the only L. But 38-0 is nuts.
Yeah.
Again, the only team that guy can even think about was even closer to that would have been one of Gino Auriemma's UConn teams.
Shout out to Coach Staley.
Shout out to Coach Staley. Or maybe one of Pat Summitt's Tennessee teams.
Mm-hmm.
But recent memory, oh no, it's South Carolina. South Carolina has been dominating the game as a team. Right? It's been a lot of individuals, a lot of Caitlin Clarks, a lot of rocking Louis and Cuban links, you feel me? A lot of Louis fits. But when we get out there on the field, Joe ain't really tough. A lot of Marvin Harrison Jr.'s out there.
Okay.
But team success, that 38-0, i.e. 15-0, on your way to a national championship, Don Staley.
Wrong sport.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was just conflating champions. That's all. My bad.
Wrong.
My bad. I was just conflating champs. My bad. I'm sorry.
Wrong sport.
Shout out to the Gamecocks. Congratulations. Well deserved.
Sheesh.
All right. Reason. Getting a dub for me. TDE.
Reason the rapper. Okay.
Getting a dub for me. And the reason why he's giving a dub is because he was adding some adult kind of grown man perspective while also throwing a shot at Drake. I'm going to read y'all this tweet that I seen from him on the whole Kendrick, Cole, Drake rap beef that's going on right now. Reason says, I hope y'all understand this is a sport and don't take it too seriously. At least from Dot and Cole. This just going to be friendly sparring. I'm excited. I'm exciting. I think he meant excited.
Sure.
To hear both get their shit off with no real issues, just rap. So in that, it definitely sets the expectation that once again, rap is a sport. And so when you hear a lot of this stuff, especially from the upper echelon rappers in the game, it really does warm the heart because it's a call back to the roots of hip hop, which is that of battle rap, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that made me smile. And then it really made me smile that he didn't mention Drake when he was talking about how it wasn't no bad blood. Because clearly, if there's any bad blood in any of this, the only person who has it is Drake.
Sure. Of course.
The only person who's out there crying and not rapping is Drake.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a great tweet, honestly.
Agreed.
Just saying things that a lot of people aren't saying in all of this. Even guys like Joe Budden, who are, adequately critiquing J. Cole's product, his response, in my estimation. Mm-hmm. But the one thing he won't say is, hey, there's somebody not rapping in all of this. There's somebody who's, just not saying anything. A lot of people having opinions about a lot of things. We got opinions on To Pimp a Butterfly. We got opinions on Forest Hill Drive. We got opinions on For Your Eyes Only. A lot of people's discography getting brought up and debated. Someone isn't rapping. Someone's on stage after a tour shooting props from Travis Scott and crying.
Well, that tour is over. It's time to rap.
I guess he ain't have a booth on the bus. I guess he ain't have nothing in the tuck that he could release. I guess he couldn't get off the tour for a second, find a studio, and go rap in whatever city he was in.
Like Cole did. Cole had an entire
7 minutes and a topic, and that's what took him to produce something.
It's time to rap, Aubrey.
Mike jack my ass. Mike jack my ass. Because if niggas was talking about Michael Jackson, he'd have pulled up. Let alone taking half a month to respond. That's just me. All right, on to the L's. Short list this week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna show y'all my capabilities here today. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm able to do. So this actually came from a video that I'm gonna play from y'all. apparently there are a bunch of white folks in St. Lucia trying to privatize public beaches and then selling the vacation experiences online, like marketing the vacation experiences.
Oh, brother.
Yep, let's take a listen. Ain't nobody really commenting right now, so you can't really tell me if you can hear it on the stream. So give me a minute.
Private, but they're all public.
Hold on, my bad. Start it over.
The white people are moving there, buying a property, privatizing the public beaches, and then posting stuff like this. Watch.
I don't know if that's loud enough for y'all to hear. But we'll post the video on here if we couldn't. The beach here at Calabash Cove is excellent.
You heard in that video continue to say private, right? The beaches in St. Lucia's are not private. They may seem private, but they're all public. So what the people of St. Lucia's have been protesting is white people literally putting up signs, keeping them off their own beaches. And their protest is working because this was on Fair Helen Beach. And in the video, you can see white people just be like, no, I'm out of here. If there's going to be a lot of the locals here.
You know, the people who are actually from St. Lucia. So yeah,
so white people are colonizing the beaches.
They're trying to. It's not even, they aren't even taking the time, effort, and spending the money to actually colonize it. They're just planting a sign saying this is ours and telling everybody else that it's their shit.
Oh, brother.
It's not even real colonizing.
Oh,
they doing discount colonization.
Lazy colonizing.
Lazy colonizing is disrespectful twice over. Not only are you trying to take my land, but you're not even actually trying to take my land. You're just trying to tell everybody that you took my land.
That's crazy. That's crazy. No.
Should I be more disrespected by the fact that you didn't actually take my shit, but you telling everybody you took my shit?
No, I should be more disrespected by the fact that you're not willing to really put
for the effort to actually. If you're gonna try to colonize me, actually colonize me, cuz.
That's a crazy quote. Actually colonize
me, cuz. So yeah, shout out to St. Lucia for the protest and making it known that that's what they out there doing. Nasty work. Oh, I got another tweet for y'all to play, and this has been the most hilarious shit that I've heard all weekend. So I hope y'all laugh and I hope you can hear it. So apparently, Doja Cat has been having a rough go of it with her fan base.
Yes,
she's been having a rough go, guys. For some reason or another, the white supremacist that she picked up on her Reddit pages and in her, her feet rooms, where she was doing race play, are not very nice about her natural black hair. Anytime she shows what's underneath all of the wigs and sew-ins that she wears, people call it pubic hair and they, refer to it in very demeaning ways. And it's almost as if the racists that she picked up in the race play rooms that she was holding are still racist when they see her black ass actually looking black. It's crazy. But somebody was actually able to encapsulate this moment even better than I was, right? And put it into song form and to share with all of us. So we're just going to play it. This is Francesca Ramsey, by the way. She got some other affiliations that I don't really agree with, but this shit is funny. So we're going to go ahead and play it. Hold on. Here we go.
My hair, to describe it, it's 4C hair texture.
4C hair texture.
Don't give. However, I'm seeing a consistent pattern in my comment section of people saying, "Is my hair hair? Is it
pubic hair? Is it carpet?
Sheep's wool?" People comparing my hair to sheep and carpet and popcorn. Like we gotta move forward.
She wants to move forward. She wants her fans to stop calling her shit sheep.
1, 2, 3 times too much.
The leopards do that. They do eat your face. When you let them in. Yep. Sure was. Toes and everything. It's crazy that they did that, right?
Wild.
That is wild. Always. That is how you wanted it, though. Should have listened to us. Because we told you. You acting like Candace Owens now. Sing that shit, Rebecca.
The ad-libs are insane.
Sing that shit, Rebecca. Never thought they would. That is craziness. But this shit hard. You know, I would really fuck with her more if she wasn't on the podcast with Consciously. Because she's immensely talented. She just has a bad choice in friends.
Damn.
But yeah, no. This shit is great. Very talented. Awesome song.
Reminds me of these BBLs killing y'all.
Yeah, right? These BBLs killing y'all. And the thighs don't match. All right, where are we going? That was Doja Cat. Oh, Apple. Apple is getting the next L from me. So apparently, on an episode last week from on the Daily Show from Jon Stewart, baby's clearly upset today. Jon Stewart had a Daily Show episode where he was talking about how Apple tried to stop him from doing a interview with a what was she? A security, Homeland Security person.
That sounds right.
Jon Stewart says Apple wouldn't let us do a segment on the dangers of AI and asked us not to have Federal Trade Commission chair. That's what it was.
Gotcha.
The FTC lady, Lena Khan, on as a guest. They literally asked us, please don't talk to her. Like, wait, what? Why did it? And that's the point that he didn't get to in this Variety article. Didn't really tell why they didn't want him to speak to them, but I mean, I'm struggling to come up with reasons why I would even entertain a conversation with Apple. Like, what is the relationship between Apple and the Daily Show that you number one feel like you can ask me not to interview somebody? Mm-hmm. Number one, that's very odd. Number two, not leading with the context of why I shouldn't interview this person is also very telling. It's very telling. The fact that you felt like you had enough reach to even ask me, and then to not lead with the context like, hey, they're a racist. Hey, they do pseudoscience. Hey, they've been widely discredited. Not just walking in and saying, hey, please don't interview them. What? What the fuck is this? Is this a backroom deal? Are you scratching my back right now? You want me to scratch yours? What do you mean? Please don't interview her. And I thought it was really alarming about the subject matter, talking about dangerous AI. That's what I want to hear y'all talk about. I don't want to hear you talk about how I'm not going to have a job in the next 10 years. I don't want to hear you talk about how, how effectively billionaires can rake in their cash now by keeping, labor costs low. It's not what I want to hear about. Tell me how this shit is going to turn into Skynet in the next 5 years. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know how to avoid. Because every story that you've tried to tell me about AI since I was like 5 years old is robots learning, becoming autonomous, and taking over.
Yeah. Now,
all of a sudden, there doesn't seem to be a worry for anybody. Nobody seems to worry about self-teaching, self-learning robots becoming autonomous.
Especially the way we're fast-tracking the technology.
Because humans are perfect. We don't do oversights when it comes to advancements in technology, and we're perfect. And we could never lose to robots. Seems to be the attitude from everybody, from all walks of life, from both sides of the aisle.
Yep.
When did that become a thing? When did the autonomous robots become harmless?
When AI started actually helping people do their jobs and do certain things.
That's the thing, man.
Helping people to become a little more lazy.
Where convenience is, we will accept anything. If it's convenient, we will take just about anything. Literally.
Yep.
Okay. Last L, I got probably spend the most amount of time here.
I think you stole this from me.
I am giving an L out to LeBron James Jr. and his father.
But yes, crazy
in this saga.
Crazy.
This is y'all. Like at first, okay, so first I was predicting. Then I felt like, well, maybe I'm just talking it up because it's not really playing out that way, and maybe it will go well.
Sure.
And then the actual college basketball season started, and then we actually got to see what Bronny looks like in live gameplay and where he's at as a basketball player post, the congestive heart thing that he had going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was this latest news.
Yeah. Well, there was two parts to this.
Yeah, Bronny is entering the transfer portal. He's going to get his NBA evaluation, so he has technically entered the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But leaving USC at all tells me what the focus is. Right? It's still the NBA.
Yeah.
It's not his development, right? Because how with everything that's going on, not just the basketball and where he's at in his quest to become a NBA player, like because that's only part of it. I'm saying where he is at, coming off of the health scare that he had, right? He's at home. He's playing basketball at the University of Southern Cal. He's at home, right? He's close. He's where all of his doctors, his family, everything that is integral to his life, is right here.
Yep.
And yet he's going to enter the transfer portal.
It almost seemed to me that he is going to see what comes of the NBA, but then if he don't get no real offers, it's transfer
We
time.
already know what his NBA prospects are. Okay, blank slate, default player, right? He's at a Power 5 Big 10 school. He averages 5 points a game, 5 rebounds a game. Doesn't start. And had a rare heart complication that is seen to have subsided because he played an entire season, but still question mark at the beginning of the season before he was actually able to play. What does that draft prospect look like? We're not going to put a name on the player, but remember, we only got 2 rounds to get drafted in the NBA.
Correct.
In a pool of 500 players.
Yep.
What does that draft prospect look like?
Not very good at all.
Now all of a sudden we slap Bronny's name on it, and Kendrick Perkins is on ESPN talking about how he's hooped with NBA players all his life, so he's ready to go.
It almost looks like LiAngelo Ball.
Twisting himself into LiAngelo Ball was a better NBA player than LeBron James Jr. is today.
NCAA.
I said what I said. LiAngelo Ball was a better NBA player than LeBron James Jr. is today.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
I said what I said.
Well, yeah, because LeBron James Jr. isn't in the NBA.
If he was, LiAngelo Ball
would be
a better NBA player than LeBron James Jr. is today. I said what I said. There's I don't even know how it is that we're saying this out loud. Like Kendrick Perkins over there talking about, some players aren't suited for college and they're just better and they're ready for the NBA. I'm sorry. There are players that can't play college basketball that are suited to play in the NBA. Okay, Kendrick, how much of your career are you willing to stake on this? I'll put the bet up with you. How much money are you willing to bet that LeBron James Jr. doesn't make it a single day past his father's retirement in the NBA? How much do you want to bet the minute that LeBron James Sr. hangs up his basketball shoes, so does his son? Because now we've gone into full-on narrative. We're not even saying, okay, he's going to play 2 years. LeBron's going to hang on for 2 more years. Then he'll be able to be drafted as a role player. They can play together. Bada boom, bada bing. Wipe your hands. Done with the NBA career. That's not what we're saying no more. We're saying someone should pick LeBron James Jr. in the lottery so that they can hang on to LeBron, and he's totally ready to play in the NBA, even though he could not even start at USC. Couldn't start at USC. Averaged 5 points a game off the bench. I would have given it to you if he was like a Kentucky freshman.
Yeah.
And like it just wasn't in the starting five, but he's still 5-star, still a lottery pick. Put up a bunch of points off. Devin Booker. Devin Booker set the bench at Kentucky. Devin Booker was a walking bucket. Devin Booker averaged 18 points a game off the bench. Devin Booker showed you that he can get a bucket anywhere in college and NBA. Bronny hasn't proven that. Bronny has not even developed himself into an NBA player. And that's just a fact. I don't know what he's going to be. I don't know how good he's going to be at his peak. What I do know is that if we keep accelerating his process before he gets a chance to do what he needs to do as a basketball player, which is learn and get better, then his last day in the NBA will be his father's last day, regardless of who drafts him.
You want to hear something funny?
What's up?
There was a certain player that also played for USC. He played for 2 years. He appeared in only 9 games, but he got, I thought that was average. Never mind.
Go blue, bro.
Thought that was average. It was going to be Lil Romeo. I thought he averaged 9 points or 5 points. I was going to say.
Oh, he only scored 5 points
total
one time.
5 points.
5 points total.
In his 9 games of play. 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist.
But if you're only averaging 5 points a game, fam, he's throwing up a lot of goose eggs. Like, there's a lot of DNPs and a lot of goose eggs in there if you're only averaging 5 points a game. So it's not like it's that much better from what Lil Romeo did. Only Master P didn't fucking try to convince the entire NBA that his son should still be drafted in the lottery.
Yeah.
Master P didn't have pundits on ESPN trying to convince feeble-minded people that LeBron James Jr. somehow isn't suited for college basketball, but is completely suited to play with the foremost and best grown men in basketball in the entire world. What are we even saying right now? God bless Vanessa, because she was the only one. Not Vanessa. Why do I keep doing that? Savannah.
Yeah.
God bless Savannah, because she was the only one that had the foresight to say what needed to be said. I just want my son to be happy, and I want him to do him.
Savannah also knows that Bryce Maximus is going to be the one.
I knew that Bryce Maximus was the one. I told you that. When Bronny was going to Sierra Canyon and he was the same height as his younger brother who was in middle school, was a pretty clear indicator that one of them kids was going to be 6'9" like his daddy and the other one wasn't.
Yeah.
So from that point on, what we should have been doing was getting him prepared to play defense, shoot, and be a contributor. Not treating him like he was going to be the second coming of LeBron James, because that was never in the cards.
Sure.
It wasn't in the cards. And you trying to force it narratively is only going to make it more embarrassing when it doesn't produce on the court. He has to play. He has to play. He has to play. He has to play. Narrative is only going to get him drafted onto a team and in the league. He has to play. He has to fucking play, y'all. He has to do it. He has to take a basketball and put it in the bucket when there are other NBA players on the other side. And no matter who his daddy is, they're not just going to let him do it.
Thanks.
We live in the most internet-driven, viral age. And what is more viral than LeBron James' son getting broken off in the NBA game because he's not ready to play? What's more viral than him not playing, than him showing up to every arena with people calling his name and him not playing because the coach can't play? Because he can't play. Because he is a second-tier college player at best right now, presently. Doesn't have to stay there. Doesn't have to be there for the duration of his career. But that's where he is now. And the idea that he can compete at an NBA level is laughable. It's laughable. If he can compete at an NBA level, then so can Jace Howard. Jace Howard might as well go to the league too.
I don't know, man. Maybe we just need Stoner Bronny. Stoner Bronny is Hoodie Mello.
Fam, are we surprised that? Oh, never mind. That's a shot at Bronny, and that doesn't need to happen. That need to happen.
We need Stoner Bronny.
But I'm telling you that a lot of this felt more like narrative than destiny from the jump, and it's only proven itself out that way. And the more that they push this, if they don't abort it, if they do not parachute out of this immediately, it is only going to get more and more embarrassing for them as a family. When it doesn't have to be. And the only person who has to bear the brunt of that, the weight of that, is Bronny. And that's what makes it so unfair. Because at the end of all of this, LeBron's going to walk up into the sunset, a Hall of Famer, and top 2 all time. Top 3 for a lot of people, for me. But for a lot of people, he'll be top 2 all time. There is no level of embarrassment that will be able to take away from him. Your son, who is trying to build his own legacy, who is trying to be a man standing on his own 2 feet, aside from you, well, you just made sure that he lives permanently in your shadow forever. As an embarrassment, too. Not even as a positive thing, as a knock. You did that to him.
All I'm saying is there was Hoodie Mello, there was Untucked Kyrie, and there can be Stoner Bronny.
Is anybody talking about Zaire Wade? You know why? Because Dwayne Wade let him do what the fuck he was going to do.
And
he let him go to school. He let him play as long as he was supposed to play. And if it didn't work out, nobody was going to be embarrassed because he didn't create this narrative that I'm going to stay in the NBA until my son gets here. Literally only missed him by a couple of years and could have came back.
Yeah.
Had a contract offered to him that he turned down. So he could have done the exact same thing that LeBron did, only we're not paying hyper attention to Zaire Wade because Dwayne Wade didn't dictate that we pay hyper attention to Zaire Wade. The same way we're not paying attention to Melo's son like that.
Well, Melo's son is still in.
We have been paying attention to Bronny to get in the league to play with his dad since he committed to Sierra Canyon. We're not doing that with is it Makai? What's that boy's name? What's his name?
You talking about Melo's son?
Yeah.
Keon,
something like that. Anyways, it's not the same because Carmelo Anthony's not sitting up. Well, Carmelo Anthony's also not in the league anymore.
Sure.
But even when he was, it wasn't this, I got to stay in the league to play with my son. It's like this whole legacy building thing with LeBron it destroyed his son's NBA career before he even made it to the league. But that's it. That is all the dozen nails I got for you this evening.
I am shocked, but it's okay because we'll talk about something. Just a second.
Nathan Moore, Bronny knows he's not ready. He's just doing what his dad wants him to do. I agree. I do not think this is a decision that's driven by Bronny James. I don't think this is an independent decision. I don't think any of the coaching staff at Southern Cal told him to do this. Because why would they? Why wouldn't they want him back? Why wouldn't they want him back another year to try to develop LeBron James' son?
Makes sense.
The only people that are edging this move on is his father and the coaching staff at Ohio State. I mean, because they obviously love to have him. Now, if not for basketball purposes, for publicity and NIL dollars.
No. You mean the push to get him drafted?
No, because he entered the transfer portal.
Oh.
So the fact that he's leaving USC at all is being driven by his father and Ohio State, who seems to be the only team that wants him.
Well, it makes sense.
Bam.
It was USC or Ohio State.
Is it not telling? I thought West Virginia was in there too, but
I think they still are now.
Is it not telling to you that teams are not knocking down the door to get LeBron James' son for the same reasons that y'all are?
Well, I don't want Bronny.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people who are inside the program, the Ohio State basketball program.
Sure.
Is it not telling that everybody else is not trying to do the same? Because, I mean, it could be just season. Hey, we got a roster spot open. Michigan literally has no one. We have like 5 players on the active roster right now. We ain't got nothing but roster spots. And there are teams like that across the country. You can offer LeBron James Jr. a roster spot.
Well, Bronny's a 2, right?
Sure.
That's why I'm just like, we got Michi, bro. We don't need that no more.
Fam, you don't need him on your team at all.
We don't need Bronny. That's what I'm saying.
That's the point I'm making.
We agree. I don't want Bronny.
The only people that's trying to pick up Bronny is Ohio State, and it's not for basketball reasons.
We got Michi Johnson back. Okay? We don't need Bronny. I don't want nothing to do with that.
Have fun, bro.
And Diebler is out here coaching amazingly. We don't need that.
Okie dokie.
You know what?
I think they should have just let the boy hoop. I think he should have been able to go where he wanted to go to school. I don't know if USC was a LeBron thing. If he chose USC, then good for him. Sure. But he should be at USC. Like, this season was lost when he had the heart thing to start the season. Like, this was never going to be a draftable season after that. So the idea that transferring or going to the port or going to the draft was even in question after what happened lets me know where his mind was. It was one-track mind to get Bronny to the NBA. How does your son collapse on a basketball court during practice with a heart issue, and you're trying to force him into getting a pro job less than 12 months later?
Yeah,
your son collapsed on the court playing college ball. He miraculously is able to compete during that season where he doesn't start and averages 5 points a game, and you find it correct in all of your advanced NBA knowledge that everybody talking about. Oh man, LeBron has the highest the NBA IQ of any player of all time. He has the highest NBA IQ of any player of all time. And so with that level of NBA intellect, you're telling that player to enter the draft and not to come back to school and work on his craft?
That makes sense.
It makes sense if you're trying to force your son to get in the NBA so that you can play with him. That's what it makes sense for.
Sure.
It doesn't make sense for anything else other than that. It doesn't make sense for his development, his career long term, his health. There's a lot more than basketball we're talking about here with Bronny. And I feel like it's wrong that this stuff is happening.
Yeah.
It's literally wrong. It's not right basketball wise. It's not health wise.
Agreed.
That's it.
All right. Got a lot of stuff that I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to start off with a toss up just to see where your head is at on this whole thing. It's a lot of talk about the eclipse. And to be quite honest with you, I didn't give a shit until like 2 days ago.
It's always just kind of like stumbled upon me when it happens. And the last time it happened, it was very fleeting. It happened very quickly. And I had to go back to work. So,
but people are out here selling glasses for like $2 or $3. And it's all over social media. Mm-hmm. I didn't care until people were like really making it a thing.
It's really rare. You know, it only happens a couple times in your lifetime if you even happens in your lifetime. So, you know, it's one of those rare natural events that, you know, the world kind of collectively joins in on. Mm-hmm. But again, yeah, beyond that, yeah, I don't even know if I'd spend the $2 for the glasses. I'd probably just wear a pair of sunglasses and
all right.
Don't look directly into it.
Before you show up to this podcast blind next week.
I mean, I know better not to look directly into it anyway. So
all right, bro.
I think we'll be okay. I've experienced it in the clips before, and
okay,
I still have my eyeballs. So
you gonna show up to this podcast with those same sunglasses on and a cane?
It's nothing but the damn eye dilation glasses that they give you when you go to the eye doctor. It's not like some super scientific high tech glasses.
If Marcus show up to this podcast blind next week, y'all know what happened. I'm just saying.
Do you if they were really that like high tech or special,
they would be $2.
Thank you. You think they'd be handing them out to you for $2?
No. But
you got it, Cyclops. Go ahead. You got it.
Anyway, what's my dubs? I gotta give a dub to potential defensive back recruit for Ohio State, Trey McNutt from Shaker Heights.
Oh yeah, about the Ohio high school thing.
Yeah, he's been supposedly doing 7-on-7s across the country because he's such a highly touted recruit. He also says that a lot of his growth has been thanks to some of those 7-on-7s.
Well, there's a lot that comes with that, right? First of all, the 7-on-7 circuit is to high school football what the AAU circuit is to high school basketball.
Agreed.
The pipeline from those programs, from those teams to college programs is as defined as it is from AAU teams to college basketball programs.
I would agree.
Also, the relationship with that apparatus, those leagues, and that of the recruiting services is almost 1-to-1. If you do not play 7-on-7 football, you don't get the exposure, you don't get the rankings, and it does affect you. It's another reason why I think that the recruiting rankings as an industry are boof in general. Because if you can't ask a kid to shell out the thousands of dollars to go play flag football year round, then I can't get an adequate ranking for my skill. And that speaks to the bias of the ranking in general. And that's all of the services, not just On3, not just 24/7 or Rivals. They all do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't see the kid at the camps, you don't rank him adequately. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that he's a worse football player because he can't spend money to go travel or play flag football year round.
Or in Trey McNutt's case, he gets suspended.
It is inherently flawed. Think about all the kids in Ohio that weren't allowed literally to play at all. So, and then that allows this narrative to be created about not just Ohio kids, but Midwestern recruits in general.
As opposed to Southern kids who go year round.
Thank you. If the best kids out of the Midwest come from places like Ohio, where you can't do football year round, you can't go to the camps, you can't play in the 7-on-7 games, and that ends up ranking or ends up affecting Midwestern or Ohio recruits. What story does that tell about Midwestern or Ohio recruits? It tells you that they're inherently lesser. And so now a guy like Trey McNutt or a guy like Dwayne Galloway, right, who's the 11th ranked quarterback, so to speak, right now in the industry, you have no way of knowing if that's accurate because Dwayne Galloway is not able to play 7-on-7 when some of these other cornerbacks are being ranked ahead of him. So even at that, he could be the number 1, the number 2, number 3. We would never know because all of those guys are competing year round, and they're going to have an inherently higher ranking, whether or not their skill dictates it or not.
Yeah,
and that is what these guys and these services will not acknowledge to you, or even tell you while they're doing the rankings, which makes the entire system inherently flawed to me.
No, for sure. I think the thing about Trey McNutt and what he's doing to fight back against that is the fact that this is not something that's going to impact him because he's going into 2025 already, being recruited and highly sought it from, obviously great colleges. This is something that's going to impact everybody after him.
Yeah.
So, like, for him to fight for this is dope.
It doesn't completely fix the issue because, again, there's still a financial aspect. Like, if I can't pay to go to Florida to go compete, if I can't pay to go to California to compete, if I can't afford to go to Elite 11, then I'm shot. If I can't afford to go to all of the prelim camps that qualify me for Elite 11, then I'm shot.
But then there may be some of those 7-on-7 here in Ohio now that they might be able to make this rule change.
I mean, does that help you if you live in West Virginia or Pennsylvania or somewhere that's not?
Well, they would also have to make their rule changes.
The point is, your ranking, right, should not be determined on how many off-season activities you can afford.
Yeah.
Or travel to. Mm-hmm. That is something that has nothing to do with football, but dictates your ranking to these services, which dictates how colleges view you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, right? Some programs have evolved beyond that and don't Star Watch, and others haven't. But on a a large scale, you're really looking at the haves and have-nots. The haves are the 5 stars. The have-nots are the 3s and belows.
Sure.
3s and belows. There's a lot of guys in there that couldn't afford to show up at camp month in, month out. Can't do it.
Yeah.
I play football at high school where I can walk to. Come and evaluate me there on the things that make good football players. But this is, I'm taking over your take here. So
no, Gray has to be watching. Just DM me, and it's an article that says, "What the fuck is up with Terrence Howard's hair?"
Oh, is that what it says?
No, this has nothing to do with Terrence Howard's hair. At least the article doesn't. That was crazy. Okay, I'm gonna try to block that for a second so I can focus. Terrence Howard explains why he's suing Creative Artists Agency and says he's owed $120 million because of a package deal that they had with Fox, which resulted in him getting paid $325,000 an episode for Empire, while the Big Bang Theory cast
$325 an episode is insane.
While the Big Bang Theory cast was paid $2 million to $3 million per episode.
At the end, ain't no way they got that starting out.
Despite Empire having more viewers, according to him. Terrence Howard, you look insane.
There's no way they were getting paid $2 to $3 million to start. That's probably what they ended up. This is not real.
Howard looks insane.
That's like this is an AI video. I'm not watching a real video of Terrence Howard.
That is real hair, bruh. That's crazy. That is crazy. I really hope. Well, you know what? The article is great. I really hope Gray sent me that just so I can see the video, because that's insane. He looks like the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz.
He looks okay. So let's be clear. Men did used to have blowouts like that.
Yes.
It's just shocking to see it in 2024. Absolutely shocking.
That's crazy. Gray's in here laughing now. I know that's why you sent it to me.
Like, if DJ got out of jail, got a record deal, had 3 #1 albums, and retired, that's what DJ would look like.
DJ looking like that is great.
Got out of jail, signed a deal, had 3 #1s, and now he retired.
My boy got a lion mane. All right. I'm moving off of that. My next and last dub was going to Taylor Rooks. First of all, I'm so sick of Emmanuel Cho and his garbage takes.
Damn.
Especially as it pertains to race and gender in this case.
Why don't you ever just talk about African athletes? Why doesn't he talk about African culture in sports?
I don't know.
Why doesn't he talk about Africans in sports? Like, there are plenty of African athletes for you to comment on. There are plenty of Nigerian athletes for you to speak on.
Yes.
There are plenty of opportunities for you to introduce your country's culture.
Right.
The culture that you claim to know the most about. Because, you set yourself away from Black Americans the last time you spoke out, right? Last time you talked about something that had to do with Black Americans.
Mm-hmm.
You set yourself out of it because you said you were disconnected from that trauma or whatever the fuck you said.
Right.
So why don't you discuss things that have to do with your culture within sports? It seems like a perfect opportunity, you being a Nigerian native, to speak about Nigerian things in sports.
No, he wants to do that for Black people.
You want to talk about young Black girls, young Black American girls. You want to talk about young Black men and white supremacy and how they should deal with it and speak to white people about it.
Yep.
You want to talk about everything that got to do with Black people that's not Nigerian.
Facts. So his take was apparently he tried to keep gender and race out of this, but then disparaged what's my girl's name? Angel. Yes. For basically trying to paint herself as the villain, and so the villain role comes with all of this. It's like,
she didn't paint herself as a villain. What she did was talk a lot of shit.
Yes.
You don't have to be a villain for talking shit. Is Dame a villain?
No. Oh, he is to Paul George.
To Paul George, he's absolutely a villain. He's in his nightmares. Is D-Lo a villain?
No.
Is LeBron James, is he a villain?
No. But
you know what I'm saying? Is Jamal Murray, is Rat-Face Murray a villain? Absolutely, he's a fucking villain. Yes, he is.
No, she's painted as a villain because she did all these things to the coveted white girl.
Yeah, to the Great White Hope, and that was her true crime.
Yes,
is that she offended the Great White Hope,
and she did that last year, not this year.
And the First Lady.
Yeah,
that's her true. But like all of this stuff about now, the one thing I will say that she can't say is about her being sexualized. Angel Reese, nobody sexualized you. You sexualized yourself. You sexualized yourself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The TikToks, the videos, twerking videos, the photo shoots. No. No one like AI memed you those pictures. Like you did that.
Sure.
You made yourself a sex symbol. You're allowed to be a sex symbol and a basketball player. You're allowed to be both. You can be a sexual object and a basketball player. And you can exist in both of those spaces as you please. I just didn't like that she made it seem like that had been thrust upon her unduly. The villain role had, because talking shit and being competitive doesn't make you a villain.
Correct.
And everybody from CNN to Dave Portnoy tried to make her out to be a bad guy.
Absolutely.
So yeah, in that way, I chose out. But that's not even what he was talking about. He didn't even go there, which is where I thought he was going to go at first. When he started talking about giving a gender neutral opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't think that he was going to go to the competitive stuff, because that's the one thing that people really don't have a right to say, because you never talk about the dudes when they're talking shit.
Yeah.
They're not villains when they're talking shit.
Yeah, whether it's Larry Bird or Michael Jordan or
the one thing that everybody respects Larry Bird for the most is that he talks shit the best.
Yeah, and
is that he was a white guy from Indiana who was able to talk shit with black guys in a professional sport.
Absolutely.
That's what they appreciated about him.
And he took it when he had to.
They didn't make him the white devil because he talked shit to black guys while playing basketball.
No, they all just competed.
It was all competing. I don't even think that the players, like Caitlin Clark or anybody from South Carolina, I don't think they try to make Angel Reese out to be a villain.
Yeah,
it's been a media narrative that makes, because also part of it is that most of the people speaking on this do not understand the culture around it. Right. Dave Portnoy doesn't understand that like talking shit in basketball is basketball culture. Mm-hmm. That as offended as he was over this to Caitlin Clark, she didn't give a shit about it. As offended as you are for her, she could care less.
Well, because
it's basketball.
She dished it out. She has to also,
and she got it back. Yeah. It's basketball.
It's competition.
Literally basketball. But even more than competition, it is part of basketball culture.
No, for sure.
The same way like clearing the bench and having 32 people fight in the middle of a baseball field is part of baseball culture. But we're not going to start that conversation today.
Or hockey.
Talking shit in the middle of a basketball game is basketball culture.
Sure.
And so there's one level of it where, yeah, we obviously going to make this young black girl an enemy. But then there's another level of it where we're misidentifying the extra layer of culture within the sport because we just don't know it.
Sure. But Taylor offered a response to Bro, which he didn't mention in his response, which is crazy. But she says, respectfully, colleague, the disappointing thing about this take is you actually can't have an informed opinion on this if you are choosing to be gender neutral and racially indifferent.
What are you talking about?
That's impossible.
That's what charges the entire situation. Yeah. It's her gender and her race.
Yeah. You have to ask why Angel became the villain. You have to ask why her role as villain has not allowed her to also be human. You have to wonder why her being asked a question and simply answering has led to this level of discourse. She says a lot more, but shout out to Chillmonger for also pointing this out to me, but I saw it before that. But yeah, man, she gave a lot of points, a lot of great points, like, as a black woman.
For the people who were, and I will say that this is a very small crowd, but for the people who were attempting to hold Angel responsible for her brashness or her bravado, I can see that, right? Because there is a bit of comeuppance. There is a bit of come due, like the bills come due. Mm-hmm. You write them wolf tickets, somebody gonna cash them in on your ass.
Yeah.
Right. And that's sports. But to the degree that she should be dragged through the mud or made into a negative figure because of that, I don't agree with that. And I don't see how it's necessary to do that either.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Okay, on to my L's. Chance the Rapper is getting a divorce. I am giving an L.
I hate my wife.
No.
I hate my wife. Yeah.
Come on, man. We can't be making fun of Chance.
Why can't we?
Why? It's a serious thing.
I know that Chance talked about a lot of positive things, and it sounded very nice on a bad album. But he's a celebrity.
Sure.
He's a rich man.
But damn, the man can't.
Who had a wife whose marriage didn't work out. He's no different than anybody else who has a failed relationship.
But he's going to get most of the flack because he was the I love my wife guy.
Well, because there's irony in that. Like, there's irony some way, shape, or form. Either he's the guy who worshipped his wife on all his tracks and she just ended up leaving him, or he's the guy who worshipped his wife on all his tracks and didn't practice that behind the scenes. Either way, it's extremely ironic and slightly humorous.
We can't give him some time to deal with his divorce before we go into it, though.
I don't think this happened yesterday. This is said after a separation.
Sure.
What's more interesting to me is, when did the separation start? Like, did the twerking at Caribbeana really
that played a part.
spearhead this? Like,
that played a part.
Now that would disappoint me. That would honestly disappoint me. Like, if that was just part of a longer saga, shit that had already been planned out, like they was already on the verge and seeing him go viral.
I feel like it played a part, but it wasn't the thing.
That it would disappoint me if that played a role.
Or they could have been separated by that time.
Right. I was gonna say, now if that was during the separation period and that just pissed you off and sent you over the edge, okay. I guess. But if this is a legitimate gripe that led to y'all being divorced, it is one of the more immature. It's akin to Darius and Keke Palmer. And honestly, it does something to my idea of who you were before this situation. Right? Like, somebody who gets divorced over twerking at a party doesn't sound like the kind of solid relationship that was being portrayed.
I would agree with that.
And to that end, it probably speaks to what was the breakdown between them all together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, we are not getting the idea that Chance gave us about his marriage. That is not what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Between the twerking and between the divorce. Yeah, this is not the idea that we got from all of those I love my wives. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. First of all, I feel like he's going to hate that album as much as we do now. The Big Day?
Sure, yeah.
Because it's now a symbol of what's going on with him now.
Yeah, I would agree.
So I don't know. I don't know. I felt weird about making fun of him immediately. Me personally.
Damn, Tony Robinson think that she cheated.
Yeah, I see that. With his big ass caps that he wears.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Gray said, why he rocking the Diane wig from Cheers about Terrence Howard.
But with Chance, maybe his eyes got big. Like acid rap Chance was one thing, coloring book Chance was another. When we got to the big day, Chance was a star. Like, we were still talking about him being an independent artist, but like
he was up there.
He was the most independent artist there is.
For sure.
So like, maybe his appetite changed, and just like a lot of people who go into celebrityism or to fame with a normal partner, and quickly, like Jordan Belfort, Wolf on Wall Street, he had a normal wife. Start getting to that paper, start smelling himself a little differently.
Sure.
It wasn't very nice about how he ended that relationship either. Like, he went into it very family oriented and had a wife and was married and seemed very content with the normalness of his life. Mm-hmm. And then he started making that cash, and all of a sudden all his expectations and wants and needs changed. And everything that was good to him before just didn't measure up.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened with Chance.
Could be. Could absolutely be. I mean, we'll never officially know, I'm sure, but
we don't know.
Because the music.
She gonna talk about it.
She gonna talk about it.
He gonna talk about it. She gonna talk about it. We gonna know. We gonna know.
All right, on to my next L. Walter, why are you not being a father to your child, Walter?
You want me to get an abortion?
Walter,
You want me to get an abortion? Why you keep busting at me? You want no baby?
be a father to your child, Walter.
That don't make no sense. Why you busting at me? You want no baby?
Insane. Bro, you are not an alpha male if you're not taking care of your kids.
If nobody knows what we're talking about, Fit got a, well, I don't know if she's a sex worker, but he met her on a sugar baby site, and he got her pregnant.
Yep.
So, congratulations. Third member to the Fresh and Fit podcast coming in 9 months.
You are hiding a child. I feel like Pusha T right now.
Literally. Let that boy come home.
Yes.
Deadbeat
motherfucker playing Border Patrol.
Yeah.
What are you doing, fam? Be a father to your child.
Nasty work. Even nastier work is that. Okay, so let's be real about the situation. I think the young lady who we're speaking of, I don't know her name, but she's not the
her name is Fit.
That's not her name.
Her name is something Fit.
That's not her name. But the young lady is not the sharpest tool in the box. She was already talking about, being married and having a family, which he was acquiescing to. All this courtesy of Fresh and Fit, who actually interviewed her, by the way. Fresh and Fit. Abba and Preach, who interviewed her, by the way.
I didn't know they.
Yeah, so that's where I'm getting all this information.
Uh-huh.
They were talking about this for a while, about having a family, to the point where she had a pregnancy scare, took a test, told him about the test, right? And you know how this motherfucker responded? Oh no, that's cool. That's cool. I really like you. Really like you. It would have been fine. I just wanted to know.
See, I didn't pick up anything until.
What part of the game is that? Not only that, he having conversations about, let's not just rent another apartment. Let's go buy a house. It makes more sense.
Oh wow.
Family. She told you that if she the creme de la creme. After the pregnancy scare, she tells him, she asked him, why do you keep nutting in me? Like, you're not going to be this lucky next time. I.e., I'm going to keep the child if this happens again. She already told you how she was going to react. You have already told her that you would have been fine if she got pregnant. You have told this woman that you want to move into a house with her.
I did hear that she met his parents or some shit.
Met his mom and all this other shit. But I mean, that could happen. I mean, if you're just
they've only been dating for like a couple months.
If you're a substandard person and you don't have any values, you'll let anybody meet your parents.
That's true.
But all of that stuff happened, and then the creme de la creme, she literally told you that if she has another pregnancy scare, that she's going to keep the baby. She's going to keep the child. And you said, okay. This is not a baby entrapment. He didn't get ran up for child support. This man literally got all the answers to the test and got an F.
Fast forward.
He got the answer key to the test and got an F.
You can take a pill for that, right? You can take
No, it's cool. You just take a pill and it's all right.
Clear all that up.
She tells this man she don't want to take a Plan B pill, and he says, "Well, then I guess we got to go to a doctor." Bitch, are you stupid? Are you dumb? Well, clearly you're dumb.
Absolutely.
But now I'm just trying to ascertain the level of stupid you are. Okay, so you clearly want her to get rid of it, and she's telling you she already told you prior that she's not getting rid of it, but now she's telling you real time in your face that she don't want to get rid of it. And so your response is not, okay, baby, we'll talk about it later. No. So no pill? Then I guess we're going to vacuum it out of you. What part of the game is this? What part of the game is this? You stupid fucktoys that are still giving this man and his retarded counterpart, sorry, we can't say retarded anymore, his mentally affected counterpart money to the tunes of thousands of dollars to learn from them.
Learn from them.
What is your problem? What is wrong with you?
Learn from them.
What is wrong? What is actually? How far have you fallen?
Down bad.
Get the fuck up. How could you still be talking to these people?
Down horrendous.
Down with no chance of ever getting up.
At all. down for the count.
This is so bad.
Oh, it's so bad.
So bad.
Be a father to your child.
Like, this is so bad. I want to know how he had sex with her. Like, how did this even happen?
He paid her.
Got to be a sex worker.
He tricked off on her.
Got to be a sex worker. And then she realized the kind of John that she had. Like, oh, this could be some pretty consistent money. And he's stupid, too.
As hell.
And then all of this happened.
And he's probably nutting in multiple girls, according to his whole, I'm having sex with 4 other women.
Yeah, he's like, now I got to check with 4 other girls because I got to see if maybe I got them pregnant because, I busting them too. Like, he's treating her pregnancy like it's an STD.
Yeah.
Like, because she's pregnant,
Yep.
other people are pregnant.
I got to contact other people about it.
How can you be this much of a virgin and still have sex? Like,
well, because you're tricking them off.
How are you this much of a virgin and you're actively having sex? This doesn't make any sense to me. This is hurting my brain.
It's insane. And then Fresh talking about through everything we've been through together, these guys have been there for me. I'm gonna be there with them. All right, bro.
At the hospital when she delivers? You going to the baby shower? Man? What do you mean you're gonna be with them? He's having a child.
Oh man.
He's not getting arrested.
No.
He didn't get accused of sexual assault. He got a woman pregnant. What do you mean you're gonna stand by him? You mean Goddaddy Myron?
Baby shower eating meatballs. And
I know that don't work because you don't like black people. So you would never have a black godchild. You would never have a black godchild. That's not happening.
Ooh, facts.
Not you.
Man. Alpha males take care of their children. Moral of the story. All right. I'm giving an L to the Atlanta food scene. So apparently, none other than Keith Lee has decided to make a redemption arc for Atlanta, considering all the terrible things that happened to him while he was in Atlanta the last time. Keith Lee had an event in Atlanta working with food vendors to give out free food. Other vendors found out and went to the location to use his name and charge people.
You know what this is? This is the natural conclusion of hustle culture. This is the natural conclusion of hustle culture. Hustle culture tells you to get that money no matter what, by all means, no matter how many feathers you ruffle, no matter how poor the customer service, no matter how poor the experience. Get that money, period.
Yeah.
That's hustle culture.
Yep.
And it will lead you to turn off a person like Keith Lee, who has tried not once, but now 2 times to uplift your community in a way that like celebrities don't do.
Ever.
You know what I'm saying? He's not pulling up with a camera crew trying to show y'all he giving away turkeys.
Right.
Right? He came to your city and used the vendors in that city. So now he's twofold bringing about. He's actually going to give food to people who need it for free. But now he's going to enrich the businesses as well, because this is well needed publicity.
In a way that's not mutually beneficial for himself as well.
And you don't have to do it because he's going to put the cash for it. So now you get to enrich your business by feeding people who need it for free. And you don't have to put up the cash to have that happen because he's going to do it. And hustle culture is so fucked up and brain rotty that it'll have you still trying to make $1 off of that.
Crazy.
This man has already proven to you the game plan, what the business model is. Keith Lee taps you, people come in droves. As long as you treat it honestly.
All you have to do is show up and be honest.
As long as you treat it honestly, the people show up in droves. He's done this in LA. He's done this in Houston. He's done this in New York. He's done this in Chicago. He's done this everywhere he's gone. He's shown you exactly what's going to happen. As long as you come correct, I'm going to tap you. You make the food good. I'm going to give a review. The people are going to show up and show out. Even the okay reviews he has given, people have showed up and showed out to support, because that is the theme of Keith Lee's content. He shows you. He doesn't leave a bad review. He don't do bad reviews. He only shows the people that he got positive or somewhat positive stuff to talk about. So he puts his stamp, he will show up. That's
so
how it works.
It's so simple.
It's how it works. You had the money in the bag. You had it. The only thing you had to do was show up and give away free food that was already paid for.
Just be a good person.
But that hustle mentality will tell you, shit, it's a lot of people out here that's willing to pay. I'll sit in the back and take the money from them. So you can make money today and then be known as one of the people that was taking money at a free event so that you won't make money for days to come.
Insane.
Hustle culture.
And arguably ruin your business.
Hustle culture.
Okay. My next L, second to last L, goes to the British Academy Film Awards, the BAFTA Awards, who supposedly polled 4,000 people and created a most iconic video game character list. Who do you think is number one?
Video game character?
Yes.
Sonic?
No.
Mario?
Nope. You'll never guess. Lara Croft.
I was... Josh? You should have given me 5 more seconds.
5 more
You
seconds?
really should have given me 5 more seconds. Because I Tomb Raider came in my head. I got off of it because it was female driven. Shame on me. And I was going to come back and say, I don't know, something like Tomb Raider. You were just giving me a few more seconds to say Tomb Raider. To say Lara Croft.
5. Shouldn't be number one compared to Mario.
No, that is absolutely insane.
But
Mario, Sonic, yeah.
Can I read the top 5?
Go ahead.
Lara Croft, Mario, Agent 47 from Hitman.
Hitman, yeah.
Sonic, and Sackboy from Little Big Planet, I think.
I had 2 of them in there. Sackboy is crazy.
So the list goes on.
Nuts. Pause.
And finally includes Pac-Man and Link. Pikachu is number 12.
I think Pac-Man is dying in terms of
Sure.
recognizability.
Sure.
They haven't had a property outside of appearances in movies.
Yeah.
But as in a video game, they haven't had a property in
But Link,
decades.
Master Chief is 8.
Okay, yeah.
Arthur Morgan being number 11 is crazy.
That is nuts. That's kind of disrespectful.
And him being above Pikachu is crazy.
Well, we're talking about as video game characters.
Okay.
They didn't say as like pop culture or television.
Fair.
Strictly as video game characters, Pikachu should absolutely be behind
Arthur Morgan being above Solid Snake and Crash Bandicoot is also crazy.
When's the last time you played a Crash Bandicoot game? Like, they're iconic figures, but they didn't perpetuate into modern day.
Okay.
So they're old and
Okay.
people forgot about them.
Okay. Arthur Morgan being on the list and John Marston not being on the list is crazy.
Arthur Morgan is more important to Red Dead than John Marston.
How?
John Marston is in 2 games,
Yeah.
but John Marston doesn't become anything if not for Arthur Morgan.
Sure.
And that's
But
clear in Red Dead 2.
He's a playable character in
Like,
2 of the games.
From a story standpoint, you cannot get John Marston without Arthur Morgan. And that becomes very evident in Red Dead 2. If not, we would have followed John Marston from day 1 in Red Dead 2.
Story-wise, you're absolutely right.
He's the most established character in Red Dead 2, and he spends the majority of the game in the background.
No, you're absolutely right story-wise. It makes sense. John Marston is still a bigger character than Arthur Morgan.
I disagree. I think if we took a poll right now, who was your favorite character of Red Dead fans, Arthur Morgan would run away with it.
Your favorite?
Yeah, we're talking about who's the more iconic character. So if we took a poll right now of Red Dead fans, Arthur Morgan would run away with that over John Marston.
Yeah, well, I would probably say Arthur Morgan's my favorite.
So then who's more iconic?
I would say John Marston.
How?
Because he has more...
If Arthur Morgan is your personal favorite and you're a Red Dead fan...
I think he's more well-known. As a player, I've played both games. But I think as far as a well-known character, I think more people would know John Marston than Arthur Morgan. In terms of iconic. I know him. He's more well known.
What number was he on the list, or was he on the list at all?
John Marston is not on the list at all.
Not on the list at all. Okay, well, that's interesting.
But this list is bullshit.
For the most iconic character in
This
Red
list is
Dead
bullshit.
Redemption.
It has Sackboy at number 5.
Sackboy. We just keep saying his name. That is insane.
That's apparently his name. I'm just saying. And he's number 5. And I like Hitman, but Agent 47 being 3.
Hitman games were pretty popular. Plus, he got 2 movies.
No, the Hitman games are great now.
Agent 47 got a movie called Agent 47.
I don't think the movies were good.
They weren't, but again, just in terms of notoriety and name recognition, he had his name in a movie.
Here's Gray.
They never made a TV show named Master Chief.
Right, Zalo. Here's Gray. Donkey Kong. Ryu. Samus.
Or over who? Over who? Over Laura Croft?
Should probably just be in the list.
In the list, yeah.
And instead you got, well, okay, Kratos is number 9. I like
Luke
Kratos.
Kane or Raiden.
Ooh, yeah.
Jax. Mortal Kombat.
Yep. But no, you've got Sackboy.
I mean, it kind of feels a little bit like Rolling Stone's list. There are a few on there that feel accurate and some that are like, what the fuck? Why is it even here? We're talking to you, Sackboy.
I'd be upset if Laura Croft wasn't on the list. I wouldn't be upset with her.
Number one is surprising because literally Tomb Raider came into my head and I thought it's female driven and it hasn't been reproduced in the video game space in quite some time. So I don't think so. So I got off of it and I started trying to figure out other shit. I should have just said it. But yeah, no, it is a bit off-putting at 1.
Yeah.
1 feels strong, especially if you got things like Sonic and Mario that have perpetuated that they do have, bless you, that they do have new games for. That feels off. New games and television properties, movies, feature-length films. I think the latest Tomb Raider came out in 2017, 2018.
The latest game?
No, the movie.
Yeah. Was the latest movie not Angelina Jolie?
No.
There's another one since then?
They redid it. Yeah, and it was actually decent.
Okay.
It was actually decent.
The Angelina Jolie one was decent. That's because Angelina Jolie was at her peak hotness.
That was like Megan Fox version of Angelina Jolie. She was dating Billy Bob Thornton at that time. Yo, imagine being the hottest that you would ever be in your life and dating a 50-year-old man.
And dating
by choice.
And dating Bad Santa.
Like I am the hottest Nepo baby in Hollywood right now, and I'm going to choose to date a man who is knocking on getting his food discounted at the restaurant during the day.
Crazy.
I don't even get the calculus behind that.
I don't.
And that's an easy segue to Russell Simmons' daughter.
Yeah, dating like a 65-year-old dude who's cheering about the fact that Mary J. Blige wanted him at some point.
That was nuts. That was crazy. Hey, talk about throwing a throwaway shot to Mary J. Blige. I think she was perfectly fine with nobody knowing that she was shooting her shot at you.
Agreed.
But yeah, no. Talk about taking belt to ass. No matter how old you are, I don't give a shit. I don't care. You could be 30 years old, and if you bring this 60-year-old man to my house, I'm putting belt to ass.
Yeah, that was the thing.
I'm putting belt to ass.
So insane.
But then again, if your father is currently
hiding in Mali,
fleeing extradition, then that kind of speaks to maybe your upbringing.
Sure.
Where the hell is Kimora Lee in all of this? Didn't she get custody of the kids in the divorce?
I think so. I don't know.
Hey,
got nothing.
Can't blame Rapey Russell.
No, you can't. I don't know why everybody's posting really fat pictures of Lotto on Twitter, but everybody's talking about Big Lotto.
It's an app, it's an AI picture.
Well, it was a video at first, and then she posted a picture of herself as a really fat Lotto. Look. Big Lotto.
Hey, go back to a picture.
It's actually this video, but they made her like fat.
Go back. Bam. Is it weird that when you make Lotto fat like that, she looks more like Black China?
That is insane.
That's fucking crazy. When you make Lotto fat, she looks like Black China.
That is crazy.
All right. Well, that was all the takes I had.
Big Lotto, not the little one. Anyway, yeah, that's all I have to. So, see you all again next week. Oh,
yeah, man.
We didn't make that Omni-Man Homelander meme. It came from Twitter.
I think all the people that are listening right now know
probably.
that it was the flyby traffic that
that
wanted to get
crazy.
in there. I'm not even watching the video. I just want to say Marvel and leave. Well, good for you, sir.
You guys are dummies.
Good for you.
This isn't even a conversation. We didn't make it one.
We're so dumb that you didn't hear the beginning of the video when we said it was a meme. That's how dumb we are. Yeah. But anyways, you guys have a good week.
Peace out, Gray and
Deuces.
Tony Robinson and everybody in the chat.
We'll be back next week. Watch the replays. Much better editing.
Next week we'll make sure to get a mobile button to block Johnny from.
We will not.
I will make sure.
We will not. You fucked around with that last week and you deleted all my boys' comments.
Hit the nuclear button on my boy.
Subsequently deleted engagement from the stream that probably would have helped people see it more. Joke's on us.
Nuclear. Going nuclear
Have
on
a good one.
every time.
We're not doing that anymore.
I'm doing it.
Adios. Hasta luego, amigos.
You can't even spell hasta luego.
I absolutely can.
Do it now.
No.
Before I turn off the line.
I will not. I'm not a monkey. I don't perform.
Spell it.
No.
Well, then staying on.
I need to write it down.